Okay, so I think we're live. I'm going to assume we're live because I always assume we're not live and then we are. So I'm going to get me an incense lit. Sit down. Got all my candles going. Got one for Bella, one for Espen, one for Hecate, one for Sharon, one for another person that I have one going for, and one for Smallwood's son-in-law. And I'm a little early because I like to get set up beforehand, and that way I know I'm actually going. I've got one phone completely charged, the other one on the charger, so I'm ready to read text because we learned that I kind of have to do that from the Hutch. And so I'm here and I'm ready to go, and we're just going to wait for people to come in and we'll get finished on the herbs. I don't think it'll take half the time today because we've not got a whole lot left, thankfully. I don't know how Jen, the taxidermy witch, went. Hey, Zale, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I don't know how Jen went for 15 hours that day. I don't know how she did it because we went 6.5 yesterday and it just about killed me. My throat was sore last night. I had a hard time at the end there. Everybody noticed I was getting jumbled in my words and I was having a hard time just keeping concentration. So I was just like, let's finish tomorrow because I just couldn't keep going. But I don't know how Jen went 15 hours. So how you doing, Zale? Hey, Moss. Bless your heart. Thank you for coming by. You guys are so awesome. Good to see you both. We're finishing up the herbal cabinet today. Shouldn't take half the time, thankfully. Yeah, she is a trooper. I don't know how she does it. And she does long streams often, and I just don't know how she does it. Of course, she's, you know, in my room, I can't just lay in bed and do them because if I could, trust me, I would so do that. That looks so awesome and comfy, and it's just nice to hang out and have a chat. Oh, bless your heart. Thank you, Moss. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate that. It looks so comfy to just kind of hang out and have a chat like that. But my hubby's in my room often, and I wouldn't want to make him be on live, so it wouldn't work out for me. But man, that looks so comfy. I would love to do that. If I had an area where I could just go hang and, like, I have this area, this is my area. I could do it for my meditation cushion, I suppose. Oh my gosh, you're so welcome, Zale. And are you getting ready to do that thing we talked about? And thank you for letting me read you. I always feel honored because, you know, I look at a side of someone that they don't always share with people. So it's very personal to do a reading for someone. So I'm always honored to read someone. It makes me feel very good. I always feel honored because it's so personal. I am doing awesome. I've had a great day. I had a really good rest, and my day has been really restful. I did not do any packing this morning. I did some packing. I packed some of my herbs. I moved the jars out of the way and pulled the new jars in so that we wouldn't have a lot of wait time today, and I could just kind of buzz through them. Because my plan is, and this is just my plan, and it never goes as you plan, you know that. But my plan is to try to buzz through the herb part of it and have time to sit and chit-chat. But it never goes that way because I'm always checking the chat and then I end up chatting, and you know how that goes. You've been setting up. Awesome. Yay, I'm so excited. And I got you dinged, so when it happens, I'll know. I'll know. I got a fresh cup of coffee. I'm so ready to go. And I got a fresh pot in there so I can just get my cup when I'm ready. And I have a carafe because I was thinking, where is my carafe? I could just fill my carafe up, bring it in my room, and I won't have to pop out. But it's in the garage, and so I'm just like, dang it. I wasn't willing to go dig it out, so I'll be popping here and there for my coffee because I have to have my coffee. Everyone knows Candy has to have her coffee. Lunea has to have her coffee. Candy, Lunea. I'm not picky. Shauna calls me, let me think, what is it? Lily? I think Lily. Hopefully she'll be dropping by today, her and Pat. I think Pat said he had some work to do this morning, but I saw him in Jen's live, so he might be done working, so hopefully he'll be out and they'll be coming by. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, so here's what happened. For some reason, and I don't know why, but the live feed coming from YouTube only live fed a little bit, and it cut off the whole beginning. And so, and I don't know why it did that, but so there was chat in that one, but it had cut off a whole huge section of it. So there was a whole bunch of missed herbs. So I was like, do I leave it? Do I cut it? What do I do? Because I had the whole thing recorded because my OBS system records everything. So I didn't know really what to do, and I tossed it around for a couple hours, and then I finally decided I knew everybody would miss the chat, but the other way they were going to miss the herbs. So I just cut the feed that YouTube put up, and I knew I was losing the chat, but at least everybody got all the herbs the other way, and I put my recorded version up. So I knew everybody lost the chat, but at least they got the herbs. No, I just got on, and it's not even 3 yet, so we're not even. And I'm probably going to be hang out a little bit before I start, just because I know there's 3 or 4 people that are going to be a little late. You're not late at all, Livin. You're good. Yeah, it really did. It just that I don't know why they screwed it up, but it was all screwed up. So I don't know how it got that way, but I think it was something to do with. I don't think it was OBS. I think it was something to do with coming in and out, because on my screen it showed that I wasn't on live at all, and yet everybody could see me. So I don't know exactly what happened, but somehow it messed it up. DST. I don't know what that is personally, Living. Yeah, and it started at the rose petals, and I had done tons before the rose petals. I had done almost a whole shelf before the rose petals. Oh, daylight saving times, yes, we do. Oh my gosh. I'm an hour late, aren't I? Yep, I'm an hour late. I didn't change my clock. I'm an hour late. Well, damn. Well, damn. That's okay, because I got to watch Jen's live, and had I started, I would have missed it, so. I hope I don't lose a lot of people because I was an hour late. Oh my God, I can't believe I missed the daylight saving time. I wasn't even looking at my computer clock. I was looking at my own clock and I didn't change it, so. I'm glad you still love me because I don't know. I was just not even paying attention. Oh my gosh, that means I didn't wake up until 11 today. Which really was 10, but you know. Nonetheless, I didn't. No, I woke up at 10 because it was my phone alarm, so I woke up on time. But, yeah, it's 4. Oh my God. Oh well, what are you gonna do, right? At least I got to watch her live. Sometimes I miss them. Like yesterday, I missed, oh, who was it? Tange. I missed Tange's because I was on, and I missed another one that I wanted to watch because I was on. So I was on so long yesterday. It was terrible, but because by the end, you know, Livin, because you were there, I was just jumbling words and losing my train of thought and everything by the end. So I can't believe I was an hour late. That's just funny. I even dropped the F-bomb yesterday. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe I did that. So, well, we might as well get started because I don't want to, now that it's later, I feel guilty. So I have to move my camera and do all the setup. So I'll be a minute, and I'm going to turn my phone on to the chat because, oh look, I got a message, probably someone telling me. Someone telling me, did you ever go live? I screwed it all up. This is why I text, I speak to text. I'm an hour late, but I'm on now. Anyway, so I will go to YouTube on here because otherwise I can't see chat. Somehow. Sorry. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm getting there. Okay, here we are. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad I taught you that yesterday. I learned that from an older witch years ago. That you could use coffee to wash your altar with, and I can't remember the specifics of why she explained that to me, or what it was, the properties of it were, but I know now some properties of coffee, but I don't know exactly what the specifics were as to why you could use coffee to wash an altar, and you probably couldn't hear me when I was over there. But I thought it was so cool. This is my box for my tarot cards, if you haven't seen it. Isn't it beautiful? It's leather. And Maritime made this. So if you see Maritime on here, Maritime made this. She's amazing. Okay, I'm going to move the camera so it might get all flippy floppy. Okay, I think that'll do it. I may not be able to have this all in the same spot I had it yesterday. All right, I think we're good. have my 6 eyes on in case I need them, my extra 2. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, you know what? She free-handed that Tree of Life because she couldn't find a pattern that she could use on the leather. So she free-handed that. She's amazing. Yeah, she's really good with leather working. She also is the one that made the little crochet bags that I use. I use one for soaps, and she makes the soaps. I use one for my salt. Excuse me, I don't know if you've ever watched that video. I think it was my first video when I gave the tip about how to use a salt chunk for a shower. You want another tip? I'll give you another tip really quick while we're kind of waiting a little bit for someone to come in, for some people to come in. And this is a cheating tip, but I do it. I don't have a big chunk available right now. They're in my cupboard. But you can get salt chips, big salt chips, Himalayan salt chips for the shower by buying one of those Himalayan salt candle holders, the tea light candle holders at Walmart for $5.99. Take it outside, wrap it in the towel, and chunk it with a hammer a couple of times, and you'll get nice big chunks that'll fit in one of those little crochet bags or even a cotton tea bag that you can use in the shower when you don't have a bathtub that works properly for you, or maybe you're just not a bath person. And you can get big chunks, and I'm telling you, you're not going to pay half the price that you would pay for big chunks of Himalayan salt. By paying $5.99, you're going to get a lot of chunks, and it's $5.99. That's how I get my Himalayan chunks. Hand to God. It's a nice cheap way to get your chunks of Himalayan salt. And I wouldn't eat it. I wouldn't. It's not food grade, but for the shower, it's super inexpensive and it works great. You're cleansing yourself with salt in the shower, so you're doing your cleansing before ritual, before ceremony, or maybe you just want to have that feeling of being cleansed of all your negativity, or maybe you've had a fight and you just want to be cleansed, or maybe you've had a really shitty day at work, a really bad day at work, and you just want to be cleansed. Salt does all that. So you get those Himalayan chunks out of a Himalayan candle holder for $5.99 and you're good to go. I don't. I'll be honest with you, I don't use straight coffee myself. I use whatever brewed coffee I've got left over. I'll show you mine. This is my altar wash. So I use, let me show you. This is 50%. I try to use 50% or higher rubbing alcohol. And I use half rubbing alcohol and half coffee. And then I add herbs that I put my herbs in a tea bag and let them soak in the mixture of half coffee, half alcohol. And then I pull the tea bag out, squeeze it, and then I pour it into a jar. And this is my altar wash. So that's what I use. And no, I don't rinse it. It dries really quickly because it's alcohol. So, and it smells heavenly. And you can put oils in it. I didn't put any oils in mine. I mean, you smell the alcohol, but you get the scent of the herbs as well. And when it dries, what you smell is the herbs. You don't smell the alcohol. So you smell the herbs. And you can smell the alcohol, but you smell the herbs when it's done drying. And the essential oils if you use essential oils in it. And you can use any herbs you want. I use cleansing herbs and protection herbs in mine. Sage. I even use lavender because lavender is a protective herb as well. And I use divination herb. I'm trying to think of what. Dandelion. Calendula. trying to think of what else I used in this one particular. Well, I always use Angelica because it boosts. Oh, I used Mandrake because it enhances magic. I can't remember everything I used in this particular one, but you can go through your herbal list and use the herbs that most appeal to you or just you get intuition of using. And then I have, and you can get these on Amazon, I have just disposable tea bags that I use. I put my herbs in those. I soak them in the mixture of alcohol and coffee for at least 24 hours. You can soak them for as long as you want, but with alcohol, 24 hours is usually enough to leach out the ingredients of the herbs and the oils. And then I'm doing this in a bowl, a glass bowl normally. I always use glass because metal kind of negates the energies, so I use glass. And then when I'm done, I just squeeze out what's left of it, toss it in the garbage, and I use a funnel, and pour my mixture into some type of glass container, and you've got your altar wash, and you're good to go. It's ready to go. So, hope that helps. And then that recipe I gave today in Jen's feed for cough syrup, that's called fire syrup, and that stuff works. Oh, are they? Okay. Okay, if you're going to use it on leather, to be honest with you, I would use an oil. I would use a protection oil. I don't know if you make oils, but I would make a sage oil personally. Let me see if I can get in here right quick. Let me just put this back. For a sage oil, all you really do, a protection oil is just a sage oil. I put a little bit of salt, which I would not use if I were you and you're going to use it on leather. I put a quartz crystal and I put sage. So remove the salt, don't use salt, put a quartz crystal and put sage, and let it sit for at least 7 days. Some people say 2 days. I prefer 7 days. Keep shaking it up, and the oil you use, if you're using it on leather, I would use a light oil like an almond oil, or maybe even what's it called? I got it. I just can't think of it. An almond oil or a grapeseed oil, because you want it to be a really light oil. And then I would just put it a little bit on a rag and rub it in to the leather, because you're not going to hurt leather with oil. You're going to actually really do it some good. But I wouldn't use a wash on it, honestly. I wouldn't use a liquid wash on it. I would use an oil. And it's still going to cleanse it. And you can put essential oil in it as well. In the oil that you're using, the protection oil, you can use essential oil to cleanse it. So you could use a cleansing like let me think. You could use a mandrake oil. You could make a mandrake oil and use it. So you could put mandrake into a carrier oil, which I would recommend almond or grapeseed, because you want to keep that light to go on that leather. You definitely don't want to use something like vegetable oil or even canola oil, because it's going to get sticky. It's going to be really sticky on that leather, and you don't want to do that. So, but you can make a mandrake oil, and I would use just a little bit of oil and then a decent amount of mandrake, and let that sit 7 days. And then you would just mix droppers of that into your protection oil. And you don't have to make as much as I have here. You could make just a small amount. But you can make a lot. It doesn't, either way, you're going to use it. If you're cleansing your altar with it, you're going to use it. So, and then mix some of that mandrake oil into it. You've got a lot of protection. You've got a magic enhancer. And then you've got your sage in there. So it's going to smell delicious. It's going to smell delicious because of your sage. And then you can use essential oils to enhance the scent and to enhance the protection. You can use cedar, you can use clove, you can use many different essential oils in it. So you're enhancing the protection, you're enhancing the scent, you're enhancing the abilities. You can just research the ability of herbs and get essential oils that will enhance whatever it is you want to put into your altar. But I would use oils, not liquid. I hope that helps, because I would definitely not put liquid on leather. Yeah, those would be great carrier oils. And I would definitely do an oil. So if you make oils, you know what I'm talking about. No worries, Heather. So am I. I didn't even start till 4 because I forgot daylight savings time. Oh, I try. Thank you so much, Dale. I don't know how wise I am, but I've been told that a few times. I try. Okay, we probably better get started because we're going to run late. If you have any more questions, though, pop them up. I'd be happy to try to help. I think we're going to start with the little guys over here first and get those out of the way. And I'm probably going to use the book again because, like I said, my memory is old. And I don't remember everything. I've got nowhere to put these, so I'm going to start at a certain point and put them back. And I'm not going to bag today because it took a really long time yesterday, and that's something I can do on my own. So I just want to kind of cut through them, only because I don't want to go 6 hours, first of all, but second of all, because I'd like to chit-chat with everybody. I really miss the visiting, and so I want to do that. Hi, Whispering Cauldron. It's good to see you. I'm glad you came by. Who is Carol? Is that Whispering Cauldron? Because everybody knows first names and I don't. I'm new. My first name is Candy, by the way. But I like Linnea. Linnea is my magical name. And I've had Linnea since 90, 91, 92, maybe. I don't remember. 1993. I did a meditation. I believe it was 93 because I already had my husband. Yes, Whispering Cauldron is Carol. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start with these. These are in the original containers from the store, and they're glass, so I just left them in there. And the tops are metal, which I don't really like, but they work and they don't touch the herb anyway, so I figured just leave it. And this one is garlic powder. Garlic powder is good for lots of things. It enhances, it's a motivator. It also pushes. It's a push type of thing. So if you're trying to, well, it's decent for banishing because it'll push banishment. It'll push the blessing. It'll push the whatever spell you're working on. It'll push it. So it's not that it enhances it, and it's not that it boosts it, but it actually pushes it. So when you're doing a money spell, it'll push it towards what it is you're doing. So when I do, you'll see me do enchantments on my channel when I'm doing spells, and I'll do an enchantment to a candle, or to, like when I did my motivation jar, I'll do an enchantment to the jar or to the herbs. And when I do the enchantment, I'm visualizing. Remember, I tell you, I'm visualizing the outcome, not the action, but the outcome. When you're visualizing the outcome and you use garlic, it's pushing to the outcome. So it's a pusher. So garlic is a good herb as far as that goes. Let's see what else it does, because like I said, my memory. But I know it does other things. And if you know other things it does, throw them in there. Hey, Erica. Welcome, welcome. It's a healing herb. It's a protection herb. It's good for exorcism. And remember, we talked about exorcism last night not being necessarily just for spirits, but exorcising anything from your life. Person, place, if you want to move, you're exorcising your living situation from your life. So exorcism of anything. Lust and anti-theft. Still used to absorb disease. It's been used for centuries to absorb disease. And it's still used for that. Clove-wise. If someone's ailing, they're sick, they have an illness, a cold, anything, put it in a room in clove form, it absorbs the illness. It keeps the togetherness of family, keeps willpower strong, wards off bad weather, rubbing on ailing body parts, and then flush it under running water. That's the old versions. I know the word, but I'm not thinking of it. Anyway, folklore. If you take it and you rub it on the ailing body parts, so like I have this sore on me, and I'll explain those. Ouch. Excuse me. Sorry about that. That didn't feel too good, and I had to use some alcohol rub. So, if you rub it on an ailing body part, if I were to rub it on that scab, then you don't run the ailing part underwater. You rub the garlic. You run the garlic underwater, and it actually washes off the ailing part. So it works as magic on the ailing body part, and then you throw it in the trash. It's excellent as an offering, and especially to Hecate. She very much loves garlic. Leave a clove with divination tools to keep away negativity, and I actually have a clove in my divination box. It stops gossip, it breaks spells, it's for purification, it heals, it's antiviral, antifungal, strengthening, and works as an offering. I actually used it. I don't know if you saw the video of my husband's sleeping bag. Was that? Yeah, I put garlic in there because it's in, no, it wasn't in that. Hang on. Antiviral, antifungal. I put it in the motivation jar because it's an antifungal and we're going to have to clean. And I wanted to be sure that I got as many cleaning things as I could in that jar so that when it comes time for us to clean, we have an easier time. That's what it was. I knew I put it in something I did recently. Let's catch up. Okay, so that's garlic powder, and I'm putting these back in because I'm not gonna, that's garlic period, not just powder. But I'm not gonna put them in bags today, so. And then fennel. Fennel is a great one, but I am gonna look it up because I haven't been using it a whole lot lately. Fennel. Fennel has lots of uses, and I used this in that jar as well because I think it blocks. It's for protection, healing, and purification. I know you can stuff it in poppets for healing. Use in all manner of spells for protection, healing, and purification. Poppets. Steep the seeds in red wine to induce improvement in your sex life. Imparts imparts and provides help and strength when facing any danger or trying times. I think that's why I put it in the motivation jar. Is thought to increase one's incarnation. In tea, it can improve your memory. I need it. Prevents and causes negative problems. Prevents and curses and negative problems. Prevents curses and negative problems. Brings vitality and sexual virility, confidence, courage. That's why I used it. Courage. Fertility, longevity, love, protection, psychic protection, purification, divination, consecration, energy gain. That's probably another reason I used it. Meditation, aids digestion, aids weight loss, gives strength, and prevents curses, which I think we already said. So that's fennel. So it has a lot of uses. You can see that page is pretty full. And then on top of it, it smells really good. If you bake it in bread with caraway, let me think, caraway, rye, fennel, and caraway, rye, fennel, I think that might be it. Come on, Lid. I think that's it. Caraway, rye, and fennel, and garlic. Caraway, rye, fennel, I think are the only seeds. And then garlic and ginger. And you bake it in a bread. It will, it induces couples coming together. So if you bake it in a bread and you both eat it, and especially if you're drinking a ginger tea with it, it brings couples together. So if you're having difficulty in your relationship, not necessarily fighting, but you're drifting apart, and you bake that bread, and especially if you have it with honey butter and ginger tea, it will bring you together. I need to check on my husband, just one moment. Okay, sorry about that. I heard him coughing a lot and I just got worried. Okay, so that's a recipe for bread to bring you together. Would it be okay to Skype tomorrow? I think FFP is reaching out and I wanted to, yeah, heck yes. You can always reach out to me on Skype, always. And I am very willing to talk about it. I'm not super experienced, but you bet. Yes, please, 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 please do. I would love to. I'd love to talk about it because I like the conversing. It kind of helps me grow closer, if that makes sense. So yes, definitely. I'm gonna pull a few of these out just because it's hard to reach back there. Okay, yeah. It's kind of how it was going for me, too, for a long time, and I just didn't pick up on it. I didn't pick up on it at all. I'm a little hard-headed when it comes to things like that. It's just, I don't take hints well. Nobody should ever hint at me because I don't pick it up. You've got to be really direct with me. So I'm telling everybody that right now. Don't hint at me. Be really direct. Just say what you're thinking because I'm not going to pick up a hint. So if you want a reading or don't hint at me. Say it because I just don't pick up hints. I'm no good at that. Never have. Even when I was young, if people would hint at me, they would think I was rude because I would just not acknowledge it. But it's not that I'm rude. I don't pick up on hints. I just never have. So be direct, please. Okay, so cardamom is my next one. Cardamom is a spice like ginger is a spice, like garlic is a spice. So it works much in the same way. Anything that you can use ginger for or garlic for, you can use cardamom for. It doesn't work exactly like they do. It has its own properties, but you can substitute it. If you're in a pinch, you can substitute it if you have to. Oh, by the way, garlic. I almost forgot, and this is important. If you want to work with sulfur and you don't have sulfur, like if you're doing a hot foot spell or you're doing hoodoo of any sort and you want to work with sulfur but you don't have any, garlic is a substitute. Garlic is a good substitute. Well, it's, as far as I know, it's the only substitute for sulfur and can be used in any hoodoo recipe that calls for sulfur. You can use garlic. So if the measurement is 4 tablespoons of sulfur, you use 4 tablespoons of garlic. And it is a substitute. And I think I said yesterday the substitute for graveyard dirt is, oh, my memory, I just had it and lost it. But I said it yesterday, so it's on yesterday's video. There's a substitute for graveyard dirt as well, an herbal substitute for graveyard dirt. So anytime you're doing hoodoo, you can substitute those things. Just wanted to bring that up. Yeah, everybody does think that you're a mind reader, and I just don't. I am an empath, and I can usually tell when someone wants to say something, but I never push because just because they want to say something doesn't mean they want to say something. You understand what I mean? It may be that they want to say it, but they just don't want to say it yet. So I never push. I sometimes, you know, I will be honest though, I've seen people in the grocery store and could tell they needed a hug and have approached them and asked them if everything was okay and if they needed to talk, and they think I'm a weirdo. But sometimes they actually just break down crying, and I've had people ask me if they could have a hug. So sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So you just take your chances. And I recently, and I mean very recently, just in the last month, saw a lady that just was miserable and needed a hug so badly. And I approached her and said, "Is everything okay?" And she said, "Excuse me?" And I said, "You just really look like you need a hug." And she said, "No, I was just confused by that lady calling her daughter because my name is Stormy as well." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, I felt like you needed something, or maybe you needed to talk or something." And she goes, "I don't need anything." And she walked away. So some people really take it weird when you try to reach out, but I can't help it. If I see someone that looks to me like they need something, I have to reach out. And I know that makes me kind of strange, but I can't help it. Anyway, back to cardamom. It was mullein. You're right. It was mullein. Can be a replacement for graveyard dirt in hoodoo. Yeah. Yes, Livin, exactly. Okay, back to cardamom. Lust, love, fertility. Add the powder to wine for a quick lust potion. Also bake into pie with apples for an amorous treat. I'm going to have to try that. That sounds good. I thought that the last time when I wrote it in here, I thought that. I need to try it because it sounds like it would taste good. Add to many sachets or incenses for love, lust, and fertility. Burn an incense for mental clarity. Sweeten lust wine with honey. If you make the lust wine, you want to put some honey in it, because cardamom, again, is a spice. Concentration, confidence, courage, motivation, and enthusiasm. So that's cardamom. And next we have, what's closer to D? Let's see, caraway. 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 Caraway is the seed that I was talking about earlier. It smells almost like a pickles, and we know why, right? Because it's in there with dill. You get a little bit of caraway in with dill when you do pickling. Protection, lust, health, anti-theft, mental powers. Protects against negativity and is carried for such. Seeds are also used for fidelity by feeding them to your partner and can be placed in sachets or talisman and to attract a mate. When baked into baked goods, they are lust-inducing. Chewing these seeds is helpful to gain love from the one you desire. A small bag in a child's bed protects them from illness. Strengthen memory, bring good healing, and help to strengthen mental powers. So when you bake it into the bread to bring you closer together, it also does what now? Is lust-inducing. And when you feed it to your lover or your partner, it can be cause fidelity. So it keeps them on the straight and narrow, right? So that's a good thing. Oh, bye, Livin. You leaving? And good night, Heather. I'll see you later. Oh, Heather's the one leaving. Okay, bye, Heather. Have a good night, honey. Catch it on the rebound. So that was caraway. What else is close? Let's do dill. Now, dill you can get in leaf form and you can also get in seed form. And when you do dill, it's the same for either. But I think there might be okay, protection, money, lust, love. Protection when carried in a sachet. Placed in a cradle, it protects children. Placed over the door, no one ill-disposed or envious of you can enter your home. Seeds are used in money spells. Bathe in it to become irresistible to the one you love. So I would assume you use the leaves in a tea bag or a sachet to bathe, and the seeds are used in money spells. So it kind of covers both. It's also used for luck, bad dreams, love, and lust. So when I make a nightmare pillow, I made a nightmare pillow for my daughter, and I went through my book and got every herb that chased away nightmares and put it in that nightmare pillow along with a bunch of lavender so it would smell good, because not all herbs smell good. Dill smells pretty good. But, and all herbs mixed together normally smell good. When you mix them together, they normally have a really good smell, but lavender is such a good smell when you're going to sleep. So I always put a lot of lavender in a dream pillow. Anyway, that's our dill. I'm sorry, Livin. I thought you were saying goodbye, and they were saying goodbye to you. We did clove, so I'm not going to cover whole clove because it's the same. And OP, so we're going to do orange next. And I have big and small orange. I have orange peel. Can you see it? No, you can't see it. I have orange peel drying on my table over there, and I have little orange over here that I bought. Let's do this one while it's out, because I didn't grab it and I should have. Or did I? I did. Let's do this one because I've got it out. This is oak bark. And at my local hospital where I gather my hospital dirt, it's full of oak trees. And I don't pull the bark off the oak tree, but there's always a lot on the ground. So I gather it up off the ground, and I bring it home, and I use that for my oak bark. And I always have a ton of oak bark because of that. And before we leave, I don't know if oak trees are in Texas or not. So before we leave, I plan on getting a big old bag of oak bark because I don't want to run out too soon. And like I said, I don't know if they have oak trees in Texas. I know they have a lot of trees in Texas, but I don't know if they have oak trees in Texas. So I could look it up, but it just seems easier to me to go grab a bunch of oak and then I don't have to worry about where I can get it. Even if they do have oak trees, it's going to take me a while to get used to the area. And it just seems to me to make more sense to grab some while I can. But oak bark. And this is oak bark period. So there's white oak bark, there's red oak bark, I believe, and then just oak bark that I get off the oak that grows in Northern California. Excuse me. So oak bark, protection, health, money, healing, potency, fertility, and luck. By the way, Hecate, oak bark is a good offering for Hecate. A tree as long-lived as the oak is naturally protected. Carry an acorn to guard against illness, pain, and bring immortality, longevity, and preserve youthfulness. Planting the acorn in the dark of the moon ensures that you shall receive money in the near future. Carrying an acorn increases fertility and strengthens sexual potency. Carrying a piece of oak draws good luck. There are different kinds of oaks. Ask them to reveal their different points of ask them to reveal their different points or finer points to you, and they shall. Add bark to incense for strength or grounding. So you can ask an oak tree, any type of different oak tree, to give you its finer points, and supposedly it will actually generate that to you. So I would suggest using your intuition, maybe touching the tree and allowing yourself to feel what it is that tree can give you, and just allowing yourself to soak it in, because whatever it is you get from that tree will be what you need to get from it. And I believe that because I believe in intuition. So oak bark. Okay, no needs for apologies. Okay, can't wait till we get to that one either, because I love it. Okay, orange. So when you dry orange peels, they're great for incense, to use larger pieces for incense because they smell so good when they're burning. And I don't mean honkin' pieces, but a little bit larger. And you can just set them out. They don't have to be dried in an oven or a dehydrator. You can hear how hard they are. And let me see if I can turn this where you can see. I don't know if you can. But I just set them on my shelf, my table thing over here. I just set them out. And you can hear these are dried and ready to be broken up and put in my jar. So that's what I do to them. I just set them out, let them dry, and then I break them up and I put them in a jar. And these work well for incense. They work well for any orange workings that you have. Hecate likes orange offering. And so this is my orange that I do myself. However, you can buy orange peels that are very small grained. And they work well in any workings. The problem is they can run fairly expensive. I think I paid $6 for this jar. So I use them very sparingly. And I only use them usually in recipes that call for orange. And, you know, my little spoons, I usually use just the tip. And remember when working with herbs that it doesn't take much, really, for them to imbue their qualities into whatever working it is you're doing. It really doesn't take much. And what I usually do is use a carrier herb, something that I have a lot of. You can even use pine needles as a carrier herb. So if you have a sachet that you want to not put this much herb in. You know, you have a larger sachet and you happen to have a lot of rosemary, use a lot of rosemary as your carrier herb, as you know, your thing to kind of fill it a little. And then use sparingly your other herbs, because the attributes and the energies are going to be there, even if you just use a tiny bit. And if you want, you can even use, well, and we'll get to that, but pine or cedar, and I'll show you why pine or cedar work well as a carrier herb to kind of fill, depending on if you're using a sachet, to kind of fill it. And I'll explain that to you when we get there. But anyway, orange peels. Let's get back to that. Let me see. It's good to know. Thanks, honey. I'm thinking of making altar for Hecate. I have oak, so that's handy. I have a beautiful white oak table my friend made for me out of a stump in my room. I want it to be an altar, just wasn't sure which way to go with it. So thank you for sharing. Yeah, I would love an oak altar, just because of the strength that it holds, and the oils that you can put into wood are amazing, because you can rub oils. So you could clean your altar with your altar cleaning solution, and then, or altar cleanser, I guess you should call it, and then you could oil that with your own blessing oil. Like I make my own blessing oil, and you can make your own altar oil, your own cleansing oil. Anyway, you could rub that oil into that wood. It would shine the wood up beautifully, but it would also give those attributes to that wood, and it would just be amazing. Imagine over the years of all the magical oils that you would put into that wood, how magical that piece would become. I would love to have a big oak altar, because all the years of magic working you would do to it, it would just eventually become this huge magical tool. You could never get rid of it, because it would be so full of magic, you know what I mean? It would just be so imbued with your own personal magic. I mean, what an amazing thing. That would just be the ultimate. I would love that. Okay, so orange peel, love, divination, luck, and money. The seeds and the peels are used in love. By the way, you can use every part of orange. You can use the bark, you can use the seed, you can use the peels, you can use the flowers, you can use the leaves, and you can use the actual sticks, the limbs and the shoots and all of it. You can use every part of an orange tree. Anyway, back to the book. The seeds and the peels are used in love sachets, and the flowers to those sachets are designed to lead to wedded bliss. The fresh or dried blossoms are added to the bath to make the bather more attractive. When you eat an orange, ask a yes or no question and count the seeds. The odds are yes and the evens are no. The peels are added to prosperity powders. Yeah, you can make powders out of the peels with your mortar and pestle. Incense and mixtures. Orange juice is drank in ritual in place of wine. An infusion made of orange peels drank will guard against later drunkenness, while the water distilled from orange flowers is added to love and lust potions and baths. And this is just a little bit of what orange can do. There, like I said, you can use the sticks for wands, the stems for wands. You can use them to make poppets in a jar. We talked about that in the other video. You can, it's endless. You can use them just like you do rose sticks. You can, like carnation stems. I don't know if you can see my carnation stems hanging and drying, but it's just endless. And you can use lemon trees that way, and lemon fruit that way. You can use lime trees that way and lime fruit that way. You can use grapefruit that way, and they all have their own attributes. And unfortunately, I don't have grapefruit in here, but I do have lemon and lime. And I don't have the herb itself, but if you want me to cover that, let me know and I will. Creeper alert. That's my husband, Alan Payne. That's my husband. Hi, honey. Oh yes, I would love to have a burl walnut table. There are some in his family that his uncle made, right? Uncle? Hi, buddy. Hi, my buddy. Yeah, his uncle used to make these beautiful burl tables, and they were just gorgeous. And all kinds of people in the family got one, and we never did. So we would love to have one of those. And that, unvarnished, would make a kick-ass altar. Imagine the magic you could imbue in that. You're such a creeper. Okay, next is poppy. Poppy seed. My buddy. That man is the love of my life. I totally got my soulmate. I am one lucky woman, let me tell you. Okay, poppy seed is good for fertility. Yes, all natural wood. I would love an altar like that. Poppy seed is good for fertility, love, luck, money, invisibility, and sleep. That's my quick notes on there. Keep in mind that poppy seed, when you eat a lot, you will fail a drug test. If you eat a lot of poppy seed, like a lot, you're going to fail a drug test, so be careful with that. Used in mixtures designed to aid sleep, of course, because it is a derivative of a drug. Eaten or carried to bring fertility and luck, and used in love magic. I don't have a lot on poppy seed, but I don't think there is a lot on poppy seed. Used for pleasure, to heighten awareness, and in a dream pillow to relieve insomnia. Now, I wish I'd have known that. I would have put it in my buddy's sachet. Oh, you're so lucky living. You're so lucky. I would start oiling that puppy right away. Let's get these suckers out. Oh, I actually did this one yesterday. Come on, make room, guys. Okay, we are breezing right through this. It's awesome. I might get to chat today. Oh, I bet it did. I have a old coffee table that I used as a meditation table that I could use as an altar, but I'll be honest with you, it's only about that high. And not to say that I won't use it as an altar, I just might, you never know. But it would be hard to do workings on because I would have to be on the floor, so I would have to make sure everything I was going to do workings with was already there, and then do the workings on it. And I don't know that I'd be comfortable with that. It'd be kind of complicated, and it's easier for me to kind of do my workings at it. I would like to have a big altar. That's my problem. I don't have that altar is too small to do workings at. So I use the altar to honor Hecate. I do most of my workings at this little table here or my desk, which is why I have a candle in both spots, because my workings are kind of just, it depends on where I'm at. I do my workings on camera always at my desk. I do my working with my herbs out of my cupboard at this table because, you know, it's where I'm at, and it's by my cupboard, so it works easy. I have a tray here that I do workings on. This stool is actually, I use this stool for my mortar and pestle. Oh, you can't see it. I use this stool for my mortar and pestle. I sit in my office chair and I drag the stool over and put my mortar and pestle on it, and it's perfect height to do working on there. So I mean, I'm just, my witchy room is my altar, so to speak. Sorry about that. My coffee's getting cold, and I'm a coffee girl. Oh, good night, Zil. Love you, darling. Thank you for coming. Yes, Skype me tomorrow. We'll talk about Hecate for sure. I would love that. Oh, so it's really low living? It's kind of low? Butterfly, how you doing? Welcome. I'm so glad you joined us. Oh, you hear the buzzing noise? It's my damn computer. It's so noisy. I'm sorry. It's so noisy, and my husband keeps telling me I need to put it somewhere, but there's nowhere to put it. Oh, just below your knees. That's no good. If I use this good mic for my videos, I have to have it like right up to my face. Can you imagine what I would do right now? Over here, how I would manage that? It's just too hard. We're going through my Herbal Hutch, and I'm giving the properties of each herb because I'm packing it away soon. And so I just wanted to get that out of the way because I wanted to slowly go through my herbs on recordings, on vids, but I'm not going to be able to do that because we're moving to Texas. So I thought as I get ready to pack up my herbs, I'll just go through them. And as you can see, I'm kind of tearing up my herbal cabinet. So I thought I'd just go through them and kind of give the gist of properties, not get in depth, but give the gist of properties to everyone. And that's what we're doing today. This is my second day of going through the cabinet. So there's part 1, part 2, and this is basically the end of going through the cabinet. I should have put part 3 on this, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll change it. And what are you crafting, love? Yeah, and my husband's here visiting. This is Go-To Cola, and I like the smell of it, and maybe others won't, but I love the smell of it. I like the smell of herbs. It doesn't matter what herb it is to me, and especially when you mix them all together. My husband always says when I make an incense, a loose incense, and I burn it, he always says it makes him think of food, and that I'm cooking. I will. You too. Love you. I'm trying to think what this smells like. Yes, it was nice of you to stop by. Thank you, buddy. Have a good sleep. At any rate, Go-To Cola. My quick notes is meditation, longevity, potency, and fertility. So you can burn a small amount prior, but not during meditation. So, and I think the reason for that is because during meditation it's distracting because it's a very strong herb when you burn it. So I think during meditation it's distracting, but if you burn it prior to meditation, it helps you get focus. It counters the effects of aging. Is good for financial and mental stability. and it increases longevity, vitality, and potency. It's good for an aphrodisiac, psychic development, renewal, fertility, sexual stamina, and growth. So that's Go-To Cola. Ooh, are you making one like Tanja's teaching? Because I so am planning on doing that. I'm going to do that even before we leave. I'm at least going to start it while I have all my stuff still out. No. No, it's for meditation, longevity, potency, and fertility. You burn a small amount prior to, but not during meditation, because it's potent as far as smell goes, so it's disruptive when you're meditating. So I don't know why I'm looking over here. That's not the camera. It's disruptive when you meditate. It's not that it keeps you awake, but the smell is disruptive when you're meditating. So that's why you burn it beforehand. Not that it keeps you awake. We went over this. Number one warning on this, do not use if you're pregnant. If I were pregnant, I would not even touch it. I do not know what it does. I just know I have a big red warning on here. Do not use if you're pregnant. Excuse me. Purification and protection. Most widely used purification herb in magic. I use this in my altar wash that we were talking about earlier. It's hyssop. Is used in bath sachets, infused and sprinkled on persons, places, or things to be cleansed. Bathe in it also to relieve your feelings of guilt. Drink the tea to deepen your connection to the divine, not if you're pregnant. Stay away from it if you're pregnant. It lightens vibrations, promotes spiritual openings, consecration, altar, and tool cleansing. So that's why I used it in my altar wash. Hyssop. We covered that one. And we covered that one. We covered some of these yesterday because some of them are just copies of my big ones. He came in here to pick on me, did he? Not really. He came in here to support me. He's so awesome. And we're going. Okay. Oh, too far. He is definitely a good one. I got very lucky. But I'm like Jen, it took me a while. It takes the good ones a while to find you. I think we have to go through lessons on purpose. And I think that's to teach us how to deal with real love. And not to say that our first loves or second loves aren't real love, but to teach us how to accept love, if that makes sense. I'll leave it there. Okay, this next one is called Meadowsweet. It's like a grass. It's a grassy type herb. And it smells like grass, to be honest with you. My quick notes on it are love, divination, peace, and happiness. You can use it to increase the chance of getting a good job. Remember I told you there was an herb you can drop outside of a... Was that you guys I was telling, or did I say that to someone privately? Anyway, I said to someone or on camera that there is an herb you can drop outside of a place you're going in to get an interview or going in to pick up an application. You can drop it on your way in. This is it, Meadowsweet. Increases your chance of getting a good job. Used in love mixtures of all sorts. also strewn about the house to keep peace. The scent cheers the heart. Bathe in it to reveal solutions to love problems, and add this herb to incense or powders for protection, peace, healing, happiness, divination, balance, and harmony. Can also be used as offerings. Yeah, that's meadowsweet. Okay, blue vervain is next. Oh, come on. Where are we at? There we go. Vervain. Big list. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Okay, that was more than a sip. Okay, so blue vervain looks like a grass. It smells kind of like a grass, but it also smells like a, there's a word. I mean a scent. It smells almost like a dull chamomile. There was another herb I smelled yesterday that smelled like that. So my short notes are love, protection, sleep, healing, chastity, peace, youth, money, and purification. Do not use if you're pregnant, again in red letters. Do not use if you're pregnant. It's used in love mixtures and protective spells. A crown of vervain on the head protects the witch while she's invoking spirits. Common in purification and bath sachets. Worn to calm emotions, used in money spells. If placed in the home, wealth will flow, and plants will thrive. Undiluted juice rubbed on the body cures ills and keeps one healthy. Don't do that if you're pregnant, please. Use in healing spells. Place vervain in a crib and the baby will grow up with a happy taste for learning. The oil is a psychic cleanser used on the third eye. Please don't do that if you're pregnant. Best ingredient to wash your altar with. Wow. Didn't use that in my altar wash. See, like I said, I do these things and I don't read up often enough. I don't go through the book often enough. So I forget things because I'm not studying. I'm too busy learning new herbs to pay attention to the older ones. And that's bad. That's not good for me. Used for protection, love, and immortality, along with all your health spells. The tea is a sedative. Again, please don't use if you're pregnant. It prevents nightmares, depression. It enhances creativity and knowledge, and it's good for consecration. Again, that's vervain, blue vervain. I'm sure it's fine for any color vervain. Okay. We did that one. Did that one. Oh, we haven't done this one. I'm almost out of that. Haven't done this one. Or this one. Here, but okay. Oh, perfect. Okay, myrrh. Myrrh's a resin. Not an herb, but I keep it all in here anyway. Protection, healing, and spirituality. Burned at noon to the sun god Ra. It purifies the area, lifts the vibration, and creates peace. It is rarely burned alone. It increases the power to any incense to which it's added. It also is included in healing incenses and sachet. The smoke is used to bless objects such as amulets, charms, talisman, and magical tools and divination tools. It also aids in meditation and contemplation. Usually burned with frankincense more often and is good for mourning and funerals. Oh, alone. It is good for mourning and funerals alone. And mine is sweet myrrh. And it smells delicious. Okay, next is fenugreek. Fenugreek is another herb I don't hear a lot about. And it smells a lot like curry, but really mild curry, like curry but extremely mild. And I don't know why. Okay, now it doesn't. That was just the initial scent. And now it doesn't. It just has its own smell. Hi, Miss Cece. Welcome, welcome. I got started late, so it's okay that you're late. I totally forgot the time change. I completely forgot the time change. So I didn't get started till 4 instead of 3. So it's okay that you're late. We're working on fenugreek right now, which is an herb I don't hear a lot about. That was my plan when I wanted to do my herbs, was to talk about herbs that don't get talked about a lot. So yay for fenugreek. Fenugreek is good for, my quick notes are money drawing, fertility, psychic protection. It is the best used herb for grounding after hedge riding. For those of you who don't know what hedge riding is, it's what a hedge witch does when she goes to the other side to work with spirits. She goes to their realm instead of pulling them to our realm. A lot of witches do spirit work by pulling the spirits to our realm, but hedge witches kind of go to the spirit realm. It brings money into the household. Added to mop water, it can help with this. Sprinkle the seeds across the threshold of a business to draw clients. Add powder. Remember I told you there was another one that did that? Yesterday I said that. This is it. Add powdered spells to protect nursing mothers and infants. Dust orange candles and light them to energize a new mother. Dust a yellow candle and light it to help a healthy child. Dust a blue candle and light it to correct an infant's sleeping patterns. It's good for money, grounding, psychic abilities, psychic awareness, and psychic protection. And that, again, is fenugreek. I have it in seed form. If I needed the powder, I could grind it up in my mortar and pestle. That was fenugreek. It's not a very popular herb, not talked about a lot, but it's a good herb, it's just not talked about a lot. Fenugreek, and it's spelt just like it sounds, fenugreek, the letter U. I hate it when you go one page further and then they won't separate. This one doesn't have a lot written about it because it's not used a lot magically, but I got it anyway because I'm an herb freak and I have to have them all. It's curry. It's for protection, and this is why I got it, for this one thing. My daughter is in college, and this is the one reason I got curry. You burn it to protect the home. You eat it to open the mind. But you dust it on the hands of a student to bring success in higher education. It's also good for offerings. But you can see how much is gone, because when my daughter's going to take an exam or has some really deep studying to do, I make her put it on her hands and dust them off. So far, she's gotten extremely good grades, so I attribute it to the curry. And the magic. That's what I do. I attribute everything to the magic. Fenugreek. 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 Oh, let's go with that one first. I'm already in the C's. You bet. You betcha, you betcha. Colt's foot. Do not use if you are pregnant or nursing. Do not use if you are pregnant or nursing. This is good for love and visions. It has no scent as far as I can tell. You add it to love sachets. You use it in the spells for peace and tranquility. I have used this for arguing couples. The leaves, when smoked, can cause visions. Do you remember in a video I did recently, I said the one herb I would like to smoke is colt's foot because it supposedly brings visions. I just haven't gotten the nerve to do it, and this is it. I don't know that I'll ever get the nerve to do it, but anyway, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend anything I've never done, and I've never done it, so I don't recommend it. When smoked, it can bring phlegm up from the lungs when you're sick. It can also be used to quit smoking cigarettes, which is probably something I should do. Also can be used, burned during divination rites, burned on a disc, it can help with spirit communication. It can help you attract a soulmate, help you attract wealth, bring prosperity. Isn't that the same thing? Not really, I guess. Prosperity can come in many forms. It can bring peace and tranquility. It's an expectorant and spasmodic for bronchitis, whooping cough, asthmatics, chronic emphysema, and COPD. I have often gotten bronchitis, so that's a good thing to know. That's colt's foot, and it's COLTS, foot. Okay, let's do that one because we're in C's. Copal. Copal, depending on how you pronounce it, is like a frankincense kind of tear. It smells good, and it's a resin. It's good for healing, protection, love, and purification. Can represent the heart in poppets. You can put it in the place of the heart, and you can actually, when you're making a poppet that is cloth, you can actually use the one piece before you sew it together or stuff it. On the outside, you can sew it to the outside. Just kind of crisscross your strings so that it's sewed to the outside. When you turn it inside out to stuff it, the heart will be on the inside. The copal will be on the inside, so it will represent the heart. Just so you know how to do that. Also, it is unhardened amber. For those who don't know, copal oro is unhardened amber, which represents intelligent and remembering or memory. It's great in love spells. It aids in self-healing and emotional healing. It's used as incense for healing, protection, and heals depression. That's copal. Coriander. Long list. Love, health, and healing. Coriander is a seed. Remember I told you yesterday as well that you could use an allspice seed for a body and a coriander for a head, and then your small rose stems to build a pocket in a jar. So the small rose stems could be the arms and the legs. The coriander could be the head, and the allspice seed could be the body. So that's coriander. Love, health, and healing has long been used in love sachets and spells. Add powdered seeds to wine for lust potion. Seeds are effective with headaches and are worn for this reason. If a pregnant woman eats them, their children will be ingenious. Pop a seed in your mouth on a Wednesday to increase your intelligence and mental alertness. This is the folklore. Cracking them with your teeth and listening to the sound can stimulate the brain. So they bring gain. They're good for healing spells and love spells. They bring mental alertness. They bring intelligence, immortality. They promote peace with those who can't get along. They're good for clairvoyance, good for divination and fertility. They're great to have at weddings, and they keep secrets. They're good for passion and protection. So that's coriander seeds. Good night, Carol. Have a good one. Okay, that sounds great. Well, I'm glad you're getting some down, Livin. That's awesome. Yeah. Kelp. Perfect. There's not a lot that I have on this herb. Now, I've been told that it also goes by another name, which is bracken. It's not the same thing, though. A lot of people call it something else, but it's not the same herb. Just so you know, kelp is not any other herb is kelp. It's good for travel and protection. It's used to summon the spirits of the sea. Yay! I'm moving to the sea. By throwing it at the sea and calling them. Gaining their favor will aid in your magic. Just so you know, any seaweed is good for that. So if you are a sea witch, any seaweed, you can summon the spirits of the sea by throwing it into the sea and calling their name, if you know their name. That's kelp. Or seaweed. And then we're going to the S's. And we're going to sage. Everyone knows that sage is a protection herb, probably the protection herb that most people think of. And I'm going to smell it just because I love it. It smells so good. I showed you guys the bundles the other day that I got from Amazon, and they came smelling through the package. They smell so good. Immortality, now other than protection. Immortality, wisdom, and longevity. To ensure a long life, some believe that for immortality, you eat it daily and especially in May. It is carried to promote wisdom. It's used in countless healing and money spells. It tends to toads love sage, tends to. I can't read my own writing. Toads love sage, and the plant should share a plot with another plant. It should never be planted alone. Write your wish on a sage leaf and put it beneath your pillow for 3 nights. If you dream of your wish, it will come true. If not, dispose of your leaf by burying it and try again. That's the folklore. Pass your crystals through the smoke to cleanse them. Smudge your body for healing and cleansing. Any items do the same thing. We all know that. Add to food for internal purification. And it's good for grief and loss. It heals wounds, it aids in digestion, it's good for muscle and joint pain, it's good for colds or fevers, it brings mental stimulation, mental and emotional and physical health, and it promotes wisdom. That's sage. So it does a lot more things than just protection. Sage. And sage comes in powder form, and I cook with it, especially if I'm making chicken or turkey. I use sage. And rice. It's really good in rice. Yeah, I knew the folklore. I have a book somewhere that I got a lot of the folklore from, but it's a lot of it is in the book by Lexa. Okay, those aren't going to go up there, so let's do this one right quick. If I've got it in here, let's hope I did put it in here. Like I said, some of these are new, so they may not be in the book. Hopefully this one is. But if it's not, we'll grab the other book down and we'll, it is, yay! It's mostly health related, and it smells funky, and it tastes a little different. It's not a bad taste. It's almost sweet potato-y in smell, but not. It's hard to explain. But you'll probably know if you've ever had turmeric, which is what we're talking about. It's got its own scent and its own taste. And I drink it in tea with ginger. I drink a ginger turmeric tea. I'm a ginger tea freak. If you watch my videos very often, you'll see that. At night, I'm either drinking coffee or I'm drinking ginger tea. So turmeric, mostly it's health, like I said, but it's also good for purification. It's a natural anti-inflammatory. It increases the antioxidant capacity in your body. It improves your brain function. It lowers the risk of brain disease. Thought I was going to sneeze. It lowers the risk of heart disease. It can help prevent and actually treat cancer. It battles depression. It delays aging, and it fights age-related chronic diseases. So turmeric is an #1, something that people should have all the time. And I drink it at least every other day. I try to drink it every day, but I don't always. So that's turmeric. I think I just saw this one. See? I'm on the same page, so let's do it. It's called Uva Ursi, and it is for psychic workings. I mean, my quick note says psychic workings. Used in many religious ceremonies through the ages, add to sachets designed to increase psychic powers, hedge writing. It can be used in spell work to represent animals, and especially bears, which is big to me because bear is my spirit animal, and one of my spirit guides, actually. It can be smoked for meditation. I do not recommend that. I never have. It is poisonous, so I would never smoke it just because it's poisonous. I don't know what that would do and why they would recommend smoking it if it's poisonous. So please understand, I mentioned smoking, but it is a poisonous item, so I would not recommend smoking. Made into a tea for the same. Why would they make it into a tea if it's poisonous? I don't know. And it's also helpful for divination, but use caution, it's quite poisonous. I don't know. But this came out of Scott Cunningham and his Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, and out of the Encyclopedia for Magical Ingredients. Protection and strength is what it's used for, other than psychic workings. So that, again, is Uva Ursi. Mine is in a powder form, but I've understood that it comes in a resin form. I'm not positive about that, but someone told me that once. What are we close to? Okay. I love doing kitchen herbs because a lot of people don't know they can use them. Yes. Yes. Yes, Miss Cece. That is very true. Rice. Believe it or not, rice is magical. Rice is great for marital people who have been a couple for a while. It's good for them because it brings back together love that has maybe drifted apart. It's good for protection, rain, money, and fertility. When placed on the roof, it guards against all misfortunes. Throwing rice in the air can bring rain. Rice is added to money spells and thrown at all wedded couples for fertility. We don't do that anymore because it hurts birds. But that's what the tradition was for. That's why it started. It was thrown for fertility. And again, we don't do that anymore because it hurts the birds. The birds eat it, it swells up. Also used for sachets for rekindling love. That's why I said we use it in people who are already together or married. It kind of brings them closer. It's used for abundance, prosperity, blessings, gain, love, and existing love. So it is a magical ingredient, rice, just plain old rice. Another one is oats. We're going to get to that. Okay, lemon balm. Other way. Wait, let's do this. If it's in this, it's not. It's in the other. Okay. Then let's do passion. Let's do passion flower. So, friendships, peace, and sleep. Contrary to its name, placed in the home to bring calm and peace. Contrary to its name. Oh, passion. It keeps problems and troubles at bay. Is carried to attract friends and popularity. Placed below the pillow, it aids in sleep. To overcome your own anger, bathe in it with a mixture of other herbs. In a tea, it's a sedative. Promote emotional balance, relieves hysteria and nerve pain. Pennyroyal. Been a while. It smells a little, almost like a mix between a peppery smell and a mint. You know what, I'm going to do this one because we're here. Mallow. I don't know if you've ever heard of this as that name, mallow, but it is a weed. It is a huge weed that grows in the yard. It's horrible because it turns into a stalk. It's hard to get rid of. When you cut it down, it comes right back. Rabbits love it. It's, I wish I'd grabbed a piece before we started so I could have showed it to you because we have some growing right now. It's growing all over my greenhouse. But the leaves get about that big around, and it becomes a stalk if you don't keep it cut down. And it's called mallow. And I dry it and I use it. It keeps malevolent spirits at bay. Gets rid of them. It's good for love, protection, and exorcism. Carry it to attract love. An ointment of mallow protects against evil, and it's a quick acting herb, so it speeds up spells, and that's mallow. And I dry that myself. and I dry it by just hanging it. You can dry it in the oven, but you'd want to do it very, 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 very low because it's a very thin. You could dehydrate it too. It's a very thin plant, so you'd have to be extremely careful or you'd way overdo it. So that's mallow. Okay, kitchen herbs. Marjoram. Marjoram protects. It's good for love, happiness, health, and money. I put love twice. That's funny. And marjoram smells good. And it's good in stew. It's used in love spells. It's carried, it's protective. It's also used in money mixtures and sachets. It's given to a depressed person to relieve it, and it brings happiness. When placed in a coffin or in ashes or on the grave, it's said to help take the deceased safely to the other side. And that's folklore. Doesn't mean it's not true. I'm just saying, when I say folklore, I'm just letting you know that's the old stories. That's the old way. But it doesn't mean it's not true. I never mean that. Add to food to promote happiness in your family. When saying I love you the first time, burning marjoram. When saying I love you the first time while burning marjoram, it will mirror the feelings in the other person. Use it under your pillow for revealing dreams. It's good for cleansing, negativity, money, tranquility, success, purification, protection, love, courage, peace, psychic development and protection, and animal cleansing. Animal cleansing, that's a good one. Didn't know that. I mean, I probably knew it because I wrote it down, but it's been a while. Okay, lemon balm. Lemon balm. Quick notes are success, healing, love, and fertility. It smells herby, but it doesn't smell anything like lemon, which I knew. Can be used to influence love. Soak in wine and share it for love. Also used in magical healing. Increases healing in sachets. Used in success spells. Great for mental or nervous disorders. Use in a tea for that. Tea also prepares you for ritual work. Bathe in it to be more appealing. Good for psychic and spiritual development. Love potions. It's an aphrodisiac. It's good for fertility, and it's great for an antidepressant. That's lemon balm. And next we have, all the way back here, oh, look at that. Red clover, or clover, period. I happen to have red. Protection, love, money, fidelity, exorcism, and success. That's my quick notes. Added to a bath, it aids in dealing with financial arrangements of every kind. It's also used in lust potions and sprinkled. It can remove negative spirits. Used for blessing of domestic animals. Triple goddess witch plant. Maiden mother crumb. Love spells to keep love with you. Protection spells, clairvoyance, beauty and youth spells in ritual, and brings good luck. And that's red. That's clover. Clover, period. I just happen to have red clover. Oats, which I need to refill. Remember I told you oats are a magical ingredient as well. And they're great for money. A grain of prosperity. Raw oats are sprinkled in harvest rituals. In the fall, they bring prosperity in every way. They honor the Earth Mother and thank her for her gifts of bounty. Eat the bread with oats to increase your income. Cook and eat oatmeal when you're looking for employment. Most used in making all types of magical tools. Tea can break up your congestion. Good for protection, prosperity, abundance, offerings, and truth finding. It's a real good ingredient for offerings to ancestors, because back in the day they ate a lot of grain. Barley, oats, rice, all those things are good as offerings to, I mean, leaving offerings, the ones you leave. I don't know about you, but I have offerings I leave on my offering table, like oats, barley, rice. I leave grains and I leave coffee on my offering table. I mean, in my offering dish. And then I have a dish that I use for suppers, meals, or what I call live offerings. So I have regular offerings, and then I have live offerings, and that's what I call, offerings that have to be taken away because they're edible at the moment. They don't have to be cooked. At any rate, I'm getting off on a tangent. And so they're good to leave, because back in the day they ate beans. They ate a lot of those items because they were staples, and they were easy to get and they were cheap. So it's a good offering for that. Yeah, I think I said that. I'm not sure. I may not have. No, I didn't. But it is good for depression. Let me write that down, because I like to keep everything in my book. And if I don't have it, I want it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, we went over that one. Went over that one. Not that one. Not that one. Which I desperately need more of. Not that one. I'm going to save these two for last, because I have something I have to dig out to show you. I think that's all I can fit on there. I'm sorry. Please don't leave, but I have to run to the restroom. I'm so sorry. I promise I'll hurry. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee while I'm out, and I'll be right back. Don't leave. Okay, sorry about that. Hubby needed something. I hope everybody didn't leave. Oh, God bless you. Sorry it took so long. Okay. White willow bark is next. White willow bark is amazing. It's great for headaches. I know that much. I went into my shortcut pages. Look at that. Oh, Lord. Tried to hurry. White willow bark. Okay. Love, divination, protection, and healing. I am almost out, and that really is literally all I have left. I've got to get some. The wood is used to fashion wands, dedicated to moon magic. All parts of it guard you. All parts of it are utilized in healing magic, meaning willow. If you wish to conjure spirits, mix the white willow bark with sandalwood and burn it at the waning moon outdoors. Magical brooms are traditionally bound with willow branches. Hedge riding, it brings blessings of the moon into your life. Turns the situation around. Shape shifting, grief, negativity, eases muscle and joint pain because it's what aspirin are made out of, willow bark. It's good for arthritis. White willow bark. Sorry guys that it took me so long. Hubby needed me for a minute. What are we close to here? These are all close together. Come on. Come on. Nettle. Nettle leaf. Nettle leaf. Every witch has nettle, right? Protection, healing, and lust. The protective powers of nettle have long been used in magic to remove a curse or hex and send it back. Agrimony does the same thing. I did a little video on agrimony when I was starting to go through my herbs before I realized I wasn't going to have time to do that. And nettle is the other herb that does that. It actually will not just remove the curse, but it will send it back to the sender. You can stuff a poppet with nettle when you're working on doing those types of workings and other types of workings. Thrown into a fire, it wards off danger. Carried with yarrow, it belays fear. And worn as an amulet, it keeps negativity away. A pot of nettle kept in a sick person's bed will aid the person's recovery. Has sometimes been used in lust-inducing baths. Drink the tea for purification. It's also good for stomach ailments. The tea is. It's highly nutritious for anemia, skin disorders, and allergies. Restores health. Restores health. It's good for an expectorant and stops bleeding. You can make a poultice and put it on an area that's bleeding, and it actually helps coagulate. That's nettle leaf. I am totally running out of room here. Okay. No, these are all close together. And come on. Okay, there it is. Pennyroyal is next. Strength, protection, and peace are my quick notes. Just checking the chat right quick. Okay. Placed in the shoe, it prevents weariness. The oil is poisonous and abortive if you are pregnant. Abortive. I would not touch pennyroyal. It is abortive. If you're pregnant, do not touch it. It's going to help you abort your child, so do not touch it. The oil is poisonous. Placed in the shoe, it prevents weariness. A green poppet stuffed with the herb and anointing it with herbal oils can help stomach problems and healing. Good for spells to protect your psychic energy from others' negativity. burn for protection and astral travel, tranquility, healing, and stimulates menstruation. Give me 1 sec, please. I need to grab a pen here right quick. Oh, come on, where are you? It said astral travel, so I just wanted to make a note. So that was pennyroyal. The other is raspberry leaf. And raspberry leaf is good for protection, love, and fertility. The leaves are carried by pregnant women to help ease the discomfort and pain of childbirth of the pregnancy. Once they are used for spells in fertility. So you use them to help you with the fertility, and then you carry the leaves that you've used in the fertility spell to help you with the discomfort of being pregnant and the childbirth. So it goes through the whole thing. So from fertility to childbirth, you would use the same herb. They're good for healing. It eases diarrhea, I would assume in a tea, and nausea and vomiting. It's beneficial to the kidneys. And that is raspberry leaf. Boom. Okay, what do we got next? Mustard seed, and I use black mustard seed. It is a negative working seed, and the only reason I'm using it is because it's what I've got. I need to get some yellow mustard seed, which is a positive seed, but the black ones are poisonous. The black mustard seeds are poisonous, so you don't want to ingest them at all. The yellow mustard seeds are not poisonous, but the black ones are poisonous. Mustard seeds in general, not black, but mustard seeds, yellow or tan or brown, are good for fertility, protection, and mental power. You can carry them to guard against colds and increase mental powers. When eaten, they increase fertility in women. They increase alertness and awareness, and added as a spread to the diet, they increase memory. All mustard seeds are good for courage and strength. Black mustard seeds are good for any negative or dark. I don't like using those words, but there's no other way to explain it. But they're good for any of the other types of workings. Banishment, hexing, cursing, removing hexing and cursing. And we're talking about black mustard seeds at this point. They're even good in death oils, war oils. They can be used as an ingredient in hot foot powders. Anything you can use in a not so nice way, you can use mustard seeds in. So that's mustard seed. Man, I'm almost out of that too. I'm almost out of a lot of these smaller ones. Some of these I've probably already done. Cool. Okay, so next is poke root. Okay, poke root is good for courage and hex breaking. At a new moon, carry to break a curse or a hex. Sprinkle outside when dealing with unruly neighbors. Crush the berries for magical ink. To find a lost item, sprinkle the powder around the area where the item was last seen and carry for courage. It's also good for cleansing, purifying, breaking bad habits, which is what I used it for in my motivation jar. To gain wisdom and insight, remove bad luck, and ward off bad vibes. It's really good for breaking bad habits. The last time that I quit smoking, I used poke root. Of course, it didn't last, but that wasn't the poke root's fault. Okay, poke root. Oh, yay! I've been waiting for this one. I'm going to pull it out. Not because it's extravagant, this plant I've been waiting for, but just because I like it a lot. I'm going to do it next because it's right here. And it's olive leaf. I love olive leaf. I like working with it. I love the energy of it. It just feels good to me, and I sometimes use it in things it's not even called for. Just because I really love the energy. It feels good. It feels healing. It feels healing, and I use it in a lot of poppets, and I make poppets with it because of the way it's shaped. And it's good for jar poppets. I'll show you. You can make the arms and legs out of it because it's stemmy. The olive leaves curl up, so it's stemmy like legs and arms. I don't know if you can tell, but anyway, you can use it like a stick. So it can make legs and arms, like a rose stem or any other type of stick you can get a hold of. So I use a lot of olive leaf, and I love it. And it's very easy to get here because I live in Northern California. So it's good for healing, lust, peace, fertility, potency, protection. Olive oil has long been used as an anointing oil to aid in healing. Olive leaves scattered or placed in a room spread a peaceful vibration through the area. I told you the energy of it is really good. When eaten, olives ensure fertility as well as sexual potency in men and are also lust-inducing. Green olives are good for wealth, black olives for protection, and red for love. Now, when they say green olives, they're not talking about pimentoed olives. They're not talking about the vinegared olives or pickled. They're talking about green olives. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but growing up in the Northern California area, we have all types of olives because a lot of olives come from here. Of course, they come from Italy as well, but I mean, Northern California is a big supplier. We have Lindsay olive here. We have, what's the other big one that comes from here? Can't remember the name. Anyway, we have a lot of olive companies here, and we do a lot of olive production. So we get a lot of green olives. We get a lot of black olives, and they come in cans just like the black olives. But that's what they're talking about when they say green olives. Anyway, it's good for peace, wisdom, longevity, protection, prosperity. It invokes a long life. Good for abundance and offerings. I don't use the leaf for offerings, but sometimes when I'm doing my wet offerings, I use olive. Only because most of my family, not my dad's side, but my mother's side, is from Idaho and California, and they did a lot of fruit and vegetable tramping, so they ate a lot of olives. Okay, come on now, turn. Okay, hibiscus, another one I really love. I like how it sounds. I like saying hibiscus, hibiscus, and I like how it feels and how it looks. Divination, lust, and love. Tea is drank to induce lust. Can be used in love sachets and incenses. Can also be burnt or drank for divination. It brings personal power, psychic ability, luck. It's good for dream magic, helpful with itchy skin, and the tea aids in digestion, and that's hibiscus. And I love the energy of hibiscus. It's great. And I like saying hibiscus. Yes, it is good for court cases. Thank you for saying that because I totally forgot. And I did do mullein. Yeah, it is lesser known. It is lesser known, mullein is. And it's also a substitute for grave dirt. Mullein. And I did do mullein, but I can go back over it if you like. I want to put that in there because it's not in there and it should be. But I did know that. Okay, I think it's, I can't remember if it's the first video or the second. Okay. Don't mind, though, if you want me to. I really don't mind. Celery seed. It's right here in the book. Let me go back over it for you. It's no big deal. Celery seed. And this is the seed, not the plant. And they're tiny, itty-bitty seeds. Mental powers, lust, and psychic powers. You chew the seeds to aid in concentration or add it to a spell pillow to induce sleep. The stalk of celery can be used to induce lust when eaten by a witch. When the seeds are eaten by witches, they can help with flying to keep from getting dizzy and falling off the broom. That's the folklore. Burn it with orris root to increase psychic powers, and it also induces sleep. And that's celery seed. Mullein. Courage, protection, health, love, divination, and exorcism. You can wear it when you're hiking in untamed areas to keep wild animals at bay. Carry it to obtain love. Mullein leaves can be substituted for graveyard dirt. Mullein used in the wick for witches' lanterns. I think it means the whole, because mullein comes in a long piece like this, so if you dry the whole thing, it's used as a wick in witches' lanterns. Or maybe even as it's wet and you dip it in the oil. I wouldn't know for sure, but that's folklore. That's from the folklore area. It's good for cursing, hexing. It instills courage and guards against nightmares. You're welcome. I didn't see that. I'll look for it later, and I was going to go over it anyway, so it didn't matter. Okay. Let's go back this way for this one. Blessed thistle is next. I've heard it called blessed thistle, spelled the same, so I call it blessed thistle. Some people call it blessed thistle. It is, my quick notes are purification, hex breaking, healing, protection, strength, and exorcism. A bowl of thistle in a room strengthens spirits and renews vitality of all within. Carried to give energy and strength. Grown in the garden, it wards off thieves. Stuff hex-breaking poppets with thistle. When men carry thistle, they become better lovers. It drives out melancholy when worn or carried. Removes unwanted influences, particularly malevolent intent. Excuse me. Select your thistle, boil it, and set the cup next to you. Then call your spirits, and you should hear a very clear answer. It's good for hedge riding. It prevents psychic attacks. It prevents hexes and curses. It gets rid of guilt. Healing spells. It eases depression. Beneficial in all healing spells. Nausea, liver function, hepatitis, memory. It purifies the bloodstream. It's good for gallstones and migraines. And that's blessed thistle or blessed thistle. Okay. Next is dragon's blood, which I used to have so much of, and I've used it so much I'm almost out. But I used to have a huge chunk, and I've broken it down so many times. It's not a huge chunk anymore. It fits in my little jar now. I mean, there's still a decent chunk in there, but there's only one now. Oh, there's two, but one's small and one's of a bigger size, but they're little. Dragon's blood, love, protection, exorcism, and potency. Dragon's blood placed under the mattress will cure impotency. The resin is a powerful protectant when carried. Sprinkled and burned as incense, added to other incenses, It increases their potency. To quiet a noisy house, grind up the resin to powder and mix with sugar and salt. Place in a jar and put the jar where it won't be found. You'll have peace and quiet. To create in a mix with some alcohol and Arabic gum. I don't know what I wrote that for because it doesn't explain anything. Burning during spell work can intensify the work itself. It's good for banishing against bad habits, and it aids in lost love. It does a lot more than that, but that's what I've got so far. And that's dragon's blood. Jen has a good video on dragon's blood, which is more explanatory than my information. Come on. Vetiver. Have you heard of that? Vetiver? I don't have any, but it's an herb. Where is my St. John's wort? I know it's in here. I just must have put it in the wrong spot. There it is. Number 1, don't use St. John's wort with birth control. It negates it. So if you use St. John's wort with birth control, you might have a surprise. Yeah. Yeah, I did say that. It adds to any working. I want to make some drags of blood. Did you use alcohol? Oh, you have some dragon's blood oil. I don't. I did a long time ago, but I use that stuff up. I haven't gotten any oils in so long. They last me a while, so I haven't gotten any in a while. I'm sorry, this is my son. Hi, son.
Hi.
Say hi, YouTube.
Huh?
Say hi, YouTube. You're live right now.
Hi, YouTube.
I'll call you back, okay?
Alright.
Love ya.
Love you too,
Bye. Okay. I had asked you a question and I've already forgotten what it was. Oh, in your ink, did you use alcohol? That's what I was asking. So, St. John's wort. A lot of people hear about St. John's wort. Excuse me, I've kind of got a hiccupy, burpy thing going on. St. John's wort, a lot of people think it's used for depression, which it is, but they kind of think that's like solely the use for it. But it's got a lot of magical uses as well. So it's good for healing, which I use it for in poppets. It's good for protection, strength, love, divination, and happiness, which we knew. It makes soldiers invincible, and that is the folklore. They used to have soldiers carry it because it made them invincible. It attracts love, carried to detect other witches. That again is folklore, but who knows? It's in a dream pillow. It can bring prophetic or romantic dreams. It's good for banishing, binding, blessing. It wards off fevers, cold, and depression. It keeps your mental illness at bay, and that means mental illness, not just depression. Bipolar disorder, schizophrenic disorder, schizoaffective disorder, any mental illness. Protects against black magic. Can be used in the care of crystals. It's used to ease PMS, and you need to carry it to strengthen your courage. So it's used in a lot of different areas, not just depression. Are you still with me, Livin? I mean, Cece, Miss Cece? Okay, we're almost done with the little ones, guys. I'm so happy, because that means we're almost done. And then I get to visit a little. Okay, you know what, did I move those? Because I want to do those last, and I'm going to lose them if I don't. Oh, not by the candle. Let's put them right here. Okay, yay, I'm in the S's. Next is something people may not think is magical, but it is. Sesame seeds. It's not hugely magical. I mean, it doesn't have a ton of things to say, but it is magical ingredient, and it smells good. I don't know if you've ever smelled sesame oil, but I like the smell, and I love to cook with sesame oil and sesame seeds. And if you haven't tried sesame chicken, try it, because it's sesame oil, an onion, some sesame seeds, cut your chicken up, cook it in there, add a little bit of cream, and pour it over some noodles. Oh, it's delicious. Anyway, when eaten, they are, the quick notes are money and lust. When eaten, they are lust-inducing. A jar open in the house draws money. Change it monthly. Hidden powers to find treasure. It shows secret passages and unlocks doors to anywhere. It's good for hedge riding. Burn the black seeds to dispel nightmares. I don't know if you knew that sesame comes in black, but it does. Enhances tact and diplomacy. And the love herb to beat all others. I don't know if you knew that, but this is a great love herb. So, sesame. Sesame seeds. Haven't talked about that. And ST, come on, there we go. Strawberry leaf. Does not smell like strawberries. It is good for pregnant women, may carry it to ease the pain of childbirth, the pregnancy uncomfortability, and the leaves may be carried for luck. By the way, the quick notes are love and luck. The fruit is the love fruit. It can be used in spells to attract an extramarital affair. No. It can also force change in your partner. So if your partner is not behaving himself, or herself, you can force change in them. It can stir things up and it can cause trouble. So, and that is strawberry leaf. Oh, we did this one yesterday. Okay, all the way to A. This one, I don't know if people know is magical either, so we'll see. Alfalfa leaf. Alfalfa leaf, quick notes are money, anti-hunger, prosperity, release, and fear. You keep it in the home to protect against poverty and hunger in a pantry or cupboard. So you put it in a pantry or cupboard uncovered to protect against poverty and hunger. You can also burn it and scatter the ashes around the property for the same reason. Also use it in money spells. You can also use the ashes in amulets for prosperity, and it can release fear. So that's alfalfa leaf. It probably has some other uses, but that's what I have on it. Yay! We're down to 2 rows. I'm gonna have to scoot closer. Okay, cayenne pepper. I think we went over cayenne pepper, but we'll just quickly do a run through. Hexing or hex breaking, lover separations, protection, and strength. Used to hex or to break a hex. Used in love or in separation magic. It represents the fire or spirit, so it lends power to any spell. It speeds all spells up. It's also, due to the fiery nature, it adds to love spells, passion, and sex. Said to curb your drunkenness if you consume a large amount before the night of the party. Helps with headaches, joint pain. A poultice to a joint is helpful. It's a good offering. Spiciness is great for love spells. I already said that. Motivation, courage, digestive aid, apply externally for joint pain. I already said that. Aids in circulation, blood pressure, and colds. I'm pretty sure we went over that yesterday, but there it is again. Tobacco. Tobacco is protective. Know that one off the top. It's good for healing. Healing and purification are the quick notes. Smoke natural leaf to communicate with spirit. Leave on altars as an offering to ancestors. Good for hedge riding. Use in all spell work. Promote peace, confidence, and personal strength. Good for banishing. Good, I already said that. Mix with salt to burn, to win in court. Mix with salt and burn to win in court. That's tobacco. It's good for a lot of other things. It's good for most hoodoo work. It's good for most protection work. It's good to put around a candle when you're trying to seal the candle so that the work gets done. A lot like grave dirt. It's good for a lot of other things that I haven't gotten in here. Chaparral. Let's see if I got any closer to the T's. Yes, I do. Shave grass. Shave grass is also called horsetail. So you may know it by that name. Horsetail or shave grass. Shave grass can come in 2 forms. It can be really leafy if they've cut it well, or it can be really stemmy if they haven't. And I've gotten both kinds. If you get, depending on where you get it. If I get it from the Monterey-based spice company, I usually get it really leafy, very cut up, very chopped, nice and fine. If I get it from the Hispanic store, it's usually really stemmy and big pieces. So it depends on where you get it. At the Hispanic store, I think I pay $1 a bag, and you get a large amount in the bag. And I don't mind cutting it myself. I just don't mind because I don't have to pay for shipping. Excuse me. It's an excellent ingredient for fertility. And good infertility mixtures. Place it in the bedroom. It's good for snake charming. Cleanses unwanted emotional debris. It's really good for shadow work. Brings out your own stable emotions again. Strengthens your resolve. It's good for cleansing. Defines your boundaries. It's great for psychic space protection. Helps to absorb your calcium as far as health goes. Strengthens your bone, hair, and nails. In a tea. We're talking about a tea now. It's a diuretic and helps with urinary problems. It helps the blood to clot if you've got, like you're hemophiliac or you start bleeding really easily. It helps the blood to clot. It reduces fever and calms the nerves. And that's shave grass or horsetail, depending on what you call it. We are almost done. Okay, chaparral and licorice root. Yep, thought that was it. One more. Licorice root, lust, love, and fidelity. Chewing on the root can make you passionate and is also good practice to help you quit smoking. I knew that. And I think Jen is the one who first said that. I could be wrong. Used in love sachets to attract love. It can be used in spells to ensure fidelity if your partner's not being faithful. Licorice sticks make a decent wand when you're just in need. Also, licorice root is a good tool for weight loss. By chewing on the root, it also helps the soul to pass easily if you're working with someone who is ready to go. It expels negative energy. So that is licorice root. And too far. Chaparral. Not a lot on chaparral, but it's one of those herbs that you don't hear about a lot. Chaparral is good for penance, longevity, and healing. Can cure cancer. Now, there's a lot of research done on chaparral. For some reason, they will not approve it. But there has been a lot of research done, and you can Google it yourself. But it has been known to actually cure cancer. And for some reason, unknown to man, they will not approve it. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Cause healthy isolation of cancer cells. Helps with developing a tough skin, meaning, you know, not to be so soft-hearted or get your feelings hurt so easy. Overcoming challenges and survival against the odds. Good for grounding, performance, longevity, indescribably healing, and for growth. And I use that in every healing spell I do. I use chaparral. In fact, you can see that I'm almost out. And that's chaparral. Okay. We did this one. We did this one. We did this one. We did that one. Yay, we're knocking a lot out. We did that one. We did that one. And this one we need to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we get to move to the tray, which is almost empty. Woohoo! Okay. Elderflower or berries. This is good for either. Exorcism, sleep, protection, healing, and prosperity. The elder tree was thought to be the home of witches with its red blood sap. When cut, so small formula was recited before it was cut to give the witch time to vacate. So they believed that witches lived in the elder tree. So they recited a little. I want to say something, but it's not coming out. A little poem or a little speech before they cut the tree to give the witch time to get out of respect, because they didn't want to piss her off because she's a witch. So this is what they recited. Lady Elhorn, give me of thy wood, and I will give thee of mine when I become a tree. So they would state that to give her time to leave so that they didn't harm her. To bless the person, place your things, scatter the leaves and berries to the four winds in the name of that which you are blessing, and then more on the thing or the person that you are blessing. Place elderberries beneath your pillow if you have trouble sleeping, and use the berries in love spells to prevent cheating. Good for exorcism, can be placed to heal warts and toothaches, can bring money. For wisdom, you can use the flower or the berries. Home and business blessings, you use the flower, and used to protect the dying during transport, flower or berries. There you go, that's elder. Okay, what do I have near? Nothing, okay. I have a lot in G, so let's do those. Okay, groundsel. Groundsel is one of the herbs that I told you I have growing in my backyard. Doggone it, I'm going to show you that right now because I'm not going to remember if I don't. I forgot yesterday and I'm going to forget again. Let me get my other phone. Nope, it's not on my other phone. It's on this phone. No, it is on my other phone. I'll be right back. Okay. The app that I told you about is not on this phone. That's okay. The app I told you about is an app that identifies a plant and tells you what it is. And I'm going to find it. I'm just going to the live so that I can still read your comments if you have any. Oh, for some reason this phone wasn't doing comments. You guys have been making comments and I haven't seen any of them. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Holy cow. Damn this phone. Hang on, I need to catch up. I'm so sorry. Okay, that's the last thing I saw. No alcohol, but yes, it gave me a lot of ink. Thank you for speaking. Believe it or not, I've been trying to cut down on my comments. I feel like I'm just so excited that I caught the live. Oh, I love it when you comment because I feel like I'm talking to no one when nobody comments. My hands are biggie transcribing. Yes, ma'am, I'm still talking up a storm. Trying to limit myself so others have a chance. I was told tobacco could be used in place of any poisonous herb. You're right. I should have that written down so I remember to say it. If there's a cure, especially a natural one, Big Pharma can't shove their junk in our bodies. That's true. Hey, Jezebel. And now this one is locked up. Unless Jezebel, the last thing what said was Jezebel said hey? Maybe. Okay. Now let me tell you the name of that app because otherwise I'm going to continue to forget and I was supposed to tell you yesterday. The name of that app is Picture This. It's called Picture This. And you can take a picture of any plant or any tree and if it's not sure, it'll show you a couple of choices and you can pick the one that it is and it will tell you exactly what it is. And that's how I found all the herbs in my yard, was this app. And oh my God, it's so useful, and you can find all kinds of herbs that you didn't even know you had in your yard. And they're in your yard. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So just so you know, Picture This, and it's on the Play Store. Picture This on the Play Store. It's amazing. Okay, I'm trying to get back to... Why isn't this going? Sometimes this is so aggravating, yes. I guess I'm going to be able to, so we'll just use this one. No big deal. Oh, Lord. I need to find a place for it. Okay. So that was groundsel. Oh my gosh, Mandy, hi. Hi, Jezebel. So that was groundsel we did last. So ginger root, I think most people know, is pretty common, but we're going to do it anyway because it's got a lot of uses as well. So ginger root, my quick notes are love, success, money, and power. Eating ginger before spell work will lend power to your spell work, especially love spells, in which ginger is much used. Put into your purse or wallet to attract money, which I do. It's also used in success spells. Whole ginger root is planted and grown to attract money. It is chewed and spit at an illness in some religions. Carve the initials into one root, carve the initials into another root, and tie them together with a red cord to strengthen commitment or deepen a relationship. Place the root or powder on a photo of someone that needs healing. Ensure success of magical spells with ginger. Bring energy, luck, healing. Good for sex magic. It draws adventure. Brings confidence, prosperity. It speeds up your spells. It banishes fatigue. It's good for a magic catalyst. It's good for attraction spells. Eat before magic work to increase your power. It brings success. It's great for positive experiences. It adds passion, and it's good for grounding. Yay! That's awesome. I dehydrate ginger in the oven all the time. All my ginger, in fact, I need to get some. I cut it really small, and I put it in the oven on my lowest setting is 170, and it takes forever, but I dry it out that way, and I use it. And I do the same thing with my turmeric. I do my own turmeric instead of buying a powder, and then I make tea out of it. Just buy the turmeric root, cut it up real small, and dry it in the oven. It's just easier for me. G. I knew I had another G sitting here. Seriously, where did I put it? I don't know why things aren't in order. Or maybe I forgot to put it in here. I sure did. Oh, I know why it's not in here. I couldn't find anything on it in my books, and I was supposed to look online and didn't. But the herb is called ginkgo leaf, and what I have on the jar is love, memory, prosperity, sex life, and mood swings. And it's called ginkgo leaf. And I could not find anything in my two encyclopedias. So I was going to look online, and I just never got around to it to put it in my book. So again, it's called ginkgo leaf. So if you guys find anything on it, let me know. And this phone is not going to stay on. They actually sell it in the vegetable aisle, up above usually, in the vegetable aisle. No, it's not ginkgo biloba. It's just called ginkgo, well, maybe it is ginkgo biloba, but it's the leaf. It's ginkgo leaf. So it's just called ginkgo leaf. I got it in a kit. So I don't know that I don't know. I do not know. Um, but yes, they do sell it in the stores fresh, but I don't know if they sell it dried in a grocery store. I do know that you can get it in the Hispanic store dried in the little packages, but I don't know if they sell it dried. Now I know you can buy the powder, the ginger powder, in any spice aisle, but I don't know about dried versions in any spice aisle. I haven't seen it, but I know they sell it in the Hispanic stores in the spice aisle. I mean, in the spices, in the spice aisle. One more left until we move on to this, and this is not all herbs. There's only 2 or 3 herbs here, and then it's uses, stuff I just use. S. Okay, this is another one you don't hear about, and I don't have a ton of information on it, but I use it for love and fertility. I used it for my daughter. She's trying very hard to get pregnant there for a while. She's not now because she's back in school, but she was for a while. And it's love and fertility, used in all type of love or fertility spells to loosen restrictions in life and overcome obstacles, and to work with, can't read my own writing, to work with something in rituals. Oh, gods, to work with gods and rituals, sorry. The G was, it looked like pods. And it's called senna leaf. And it's also good for magic. It also enhances magic. And again, it's called senna leaf, S-E-N-N-A, senna leaf. And it's just one of those you don't hear a lot about, senna leaf. And I have quite a few herbs that you don't hear a lot about, and that's what I wanted to share. And we are through my herbal hutch. Yay. We are done with it. We've done it all. We've done the entire hutch. Yes. Okay. So, oh no, we have not done the entire hutch. This is something I needed to dig out that I was going to show you, remember? So you're going to see my rumpus, because I have to dig it out. First, I'm going to read it to you. Let's do it that way. Do you remember I was telling you earlier that if you're doing a, working in a, let's take a sip. That if you're doing a working in a sachet and you need a filler because you don't want to use all your herbs up. Am I on camera? Okay. You don't want to use all your herbs up, but you need a filler that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, so that your sachet doesn't look that full and it's a bag. Because a sachet is normally, oh, I don't have any out. Okay, that's all right. A sachet is normally, you know, it's normally about that big, and you don't want just this many herbs in it, but you don't want to use all your herbs up because it takes very little herb to actually do the work. So you don't want to use all your herb up. So in order to not use all your herb up, but to not make your sachet look not used, you can use filler. And I'm going to tell you the name of 2 very inexpensive fillers. So one is cedar, believe it or not. And cedar is good for healing, purification, money, and protection. There is no reason you don't want purification or protection or healing in a sachet for any reason, regardless of what that sachet is for. Healing, protection, and purification are great to put in a sachet regardless of what you're making the sachet for. So the smoke of cedar is purifying and also cures, I can't read my own, predilection? I don't know what that means. To having, okay, it also cures a habit of having bad dreams. And it's used in money incenses. Put in the wallet, it brings money. You can add it to love sachets, and it burns burning to induce psychic powers, and it's great for energy and grounding. It's also good for purification, protection, and healing poppets. So those are all attributes you'd want to put in a sachet anyway. So cedar is very inexpensive, and I'm going to show you something in a minute, and then I'm going to tell you another thing you can put in a sachet that it takes up some room and has good attributes, and that's healing, fertility, money, protection, and to exorcise whatever in your life you don't want, exorcism. So again, healing, money, protection, those are good things to put in a sachet. And that is pine. Again, very inexpensive, and I'm going to show you. Those are not, that's not relevant. Used in money spells. The sawdust is used for incense. Cone needles are used for fertility. I'll show you those in a bit. Purifies ritual space when burned. Good base for sachet spells they are designed for. Abundance, health, love, beauty, birth, and the needles can be used for tight or chest cold, and it has vitamin C. Now I'm going to show you something. You're going to see my rumpus, which is huge, so it's going to take up the screen. I've got it buried because I only take it out when I need to fill something. And I usually keep a good sized jar full, but it's called bedding for an animal, for pets. But this is cedar, and this cost me $4. Now I will never run out of cedar. Trust me, $4. Great filler. And it's good for spells as well. And you can grind this, if you need to, in a magic bullet or any other type grinder, as long as you're careful. You don't want to overdo it because you'll heat up your grinder. So you just do it slowly, a little at a time. Grind it, let your grinder cool, grind it, let your grinder cool. I've had my magic bullet forever and it hasn't burned up. So but you just have to take your time with it. And I'm not going to dig the other one out, but I have a bigger bag of pine and I only paid $3 something for it. So it's very inexpensive. You never run out of it if you buy it this way. And it's easy to store. I open it when I need it. You just pull the tape back. I keep it kind of bent on one end. Pull the tape back, get my cedar out, and close it back up, reseal it. It's very easy. It smells delicious. And it's cedar, and that's pine. Quite easy. So there's that. And of course my camera turned off again. Oh, you're so welcome. So let me get to this other little bit that I've got left. There's hardly anything to show you, but it's kind of interesting stuff. So there's 3 herbs I got left on this table, and then some cool things that you should know about. So this herb, we already went over this. This is chickweed. Chickweed is a great herb for skin issues, for psoriasis especially. You can put it in a ointment, and it's great for psoriasis. It's good for love, fertility, and healing. One of the strongest fertility herbs there is. I think I said that in a previous video. Any fertility spell you're working, you want chickweed. Very good in psoriasis, salves, or other skin problems. Carry or use in spells to attract or maintain love, and very good for fertility. I already said that. So that's chickweed. And the other herb I have up here is called shepherd's purse. I knew that. Shepherd's purse is a beautiful plant. It's little tiny hearts, just little tiny hearts. It's so pretty. And it's in here, I promise. I do anything I can to save money because I am on, oh, here it is. I'm actually on disability, so I can't afford to spend any more than I have to. So, yeah, cedar and pine is so cheap. Okay, shepherd's purse is got hearts all over it, so it doesn't say it in here, but I use it for love because of the mere fact that it has these itty bitty tiny hearts growing all over it. If you ever see a plant with little tiny hearts on it, it's shepherd's purse. It's green, and it's got little white flowers on it, and little tiny hearts just literally everywhere. It's the most beautiful plant, and if it happens to spring up before I move, if it happens to come up, which maybe it will, next week's supposed to be sunny all week, finally, we've had nothing but rain, but if it happens to spring up before we leave, I'm going to be sure to get video of it and put it on there for you because it's absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, healing and protection, good for pregnant women, protection spells in general, also used in healing poppets, which you can see I'm almost out, and I had this jar full last year. As a salve, it's great for poison ivy, by the way, and it's good for protection, all around protection, and it's great for an offering. So that is our last herb, and that's shepherd's purse. Okay, cool little oddities. Newspaper. Newspaper is used for success. It's also used as a filler for sachets to bring success. Let me read everything it's good for because I've got it right here. I probably got it in my book. But let's look right quick. I mean, the worst that could happen is I do. Oh, it's just add to spells for success. Okay. So it's a success thing, and it's good for a filler for sachets for that reason. So newsprint. I don't know if I have this in my book. Sand. I do have this in my book. It's good for a charcoal coolant. Everybody probably knows that. And it's a blessing aid. Used under a disc, blah, blah, blah. As a magical something, sand represents a multitude of possibilities that exist in our worlds. One grain represents the great uniqueness of the individual. A handful represents the great influence yielded by the like-minded people. Bring sand into the home to attract people who share your interests. Sift sand through the hand to open more options in your life. And wet sand helps to ground and realize potentials. Sand is also great to mix in your blessing, your house blessings. It's also good, the ones that go around your home. It's also good to mix with your cinnamon and your graveyard dirt that you're going to put around your windowsills and your doorways. Sand is just an all-around good thing to have in your home. So that's sand. Another thing is talc. Talc is good to use in the same things. Not necessarily your windowsills because talc is hard to wash off, but it's really good to put in your, I wonder if I have talc in here because I don't think I do. But it's good to put in your house blessing that you're going to go around your house with. Because talc is a protective thing, item, and it also, of course I don't. It also helps with blessing. It brings blessing. So that's talc. We're done with cedar and pine. I put those there so I wouldn't forget to show you. I'm going to try to do a video tonight on my unique healing items, like somebody mentioned that. And pinecone needles. Pinecone needles are great for protection, healing, money, fertility, and they're also good to poke through obstacles and to push through the veil. If you're having trouble meditating, they're good to to keep on your meditation altar or to hold when you're meditating because they push through anything that's blocking. They're great for blockages. And it's literally a pine cone needle torn off a pine cone. This is the part that was attached to the pine cone, and then this is the point. And that's why it's so good, because you're poking through the blockage, you're poking through the obstacle, you're poking through it. So you're literally poking through. And so pine cone needles are great. They're also used in banishing and other magics that aren't necessarily for poking through. So they're also used for poking magic. Let's see. Oh, this is nothing. This is a Hecate incense blend I made. So that's nothing. Okay. I'm going to read a little bit about this because it is legal in California and it does have magical properties. I don't know if it's legal in where you're at, but you might be interested. And let me catch up on chat because this phone keeps turning off. Okay, we're good. Unless it stopped working, which I can't tell. No, it stopped working because Pat just said hi on the other chat. Now, of course, it's not going to show it at all. Let me get off here and then get back on. Sorry, guys. I just can't see the chat. Okay, hi, Pat. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Okay. Okay, so, and this is something that a lot of people don't talk about because it's not legal in every state, but it is legal in California, so I'm going to talk about it. It does have magical properties, and if it's not legal where you are, of course you don't have to use it, and if you disagree with it, I'm very sorry, but it does have magical properties, and it's worth mentioning, and it's cannabis. And I have two different kinds. That's why I have two different jars. And I have to find someone to give it to because it's not legal to take to Texas, and no, I don't use it that way, but I do use it magically. And so everything I've used it magically in, I have to get rid of because I'm not going to go to jail for a magical tool. And it is completely illegal in Texas. So there's a lot of there's a lot of magical sachets and workings that I have to get rid of because I've used it in there, and I don't want some dog sniffing it and sending me to prison. So, bye-bye. Anyway, it is good for healing and dream magic. It can be used in healing spells for oneself. It's great used in healing ointments and salves, which I have to get rid of those as well. Oh, that's a groundsel salve. Groundsel salve is good for people get hands that crack and peel open and get raw. Groundsel is the best thing for that. But I do have cannabis salve that I used on my arm when I broke it. Worked like a charm for the pain when the pain pills didn't cover all the pain. The cannabis salve did. Great stuff. But bye-bye. Some people use it smoking it, and I actually have a person I watch that I don't want to mention their name because I don't want to cause a thing, but they smoke it to honor the divine, to communicate with the dead, to increase psychic ability, to facilitate dream magic, and to bring, and that's all the smoking, but it can be used to bring healing, hope, love, cooperation, happiness, inspiration, and lust. And that's not smoking it, that's what it can be used for magically. So it is a good magical herb. But if it's illegal where you're at, I don't suggest you use it because it's not worth going to jail for. So that's cannabis, which I will be giving to, I know someone that could use it other ways, but they could use it. Okay, and one more item I want to show you right quick. think I have right here, close. There it is snake sheds. My daughter has a snake, so I'm very lucky to be blessed with them often. I use them often, but I'm blessed with them often. And they are good for protection and transition. They're good for a lot of things, but what I have in here is minimal. I have some information written down elsewhere that I haven't gotten in the book yet. But they're good for protectant and strength. They also can scare. If someone is bothering you and you want to rid them of bothering you, they can be used as a fear tactic in a spell. They cause fear in people. People are afraid of snakes. So it can be used as a fear tactic in a spell. It scares people away. You want to get rid of someone, you can use a snake's shed. They're good for growth and renewal. They're good to camouflage you. We were talking yesterday about invisibility and making you inconspicuous. Snake's shed is good for that. It can attract other witches to you. In fact, I have a snake shed in here. Just in case there are other witches that want to feel my energy, that would be nice. It can bring confidence. It brings fierceness to your energy. Helps you be assertive when needed, not overly, and helps you be confident. It's good for you. It's good for cursings when needed, and it's transitional. It helps you go with the flow and change when you need to change, and not be afraid of change and that type of thing. Okay, we did it. I have some salts over there in some empty jars. Salts as in Epsom salts, some bathing salts, that type of thing, but nothing I felt like we needed to really pull out and discuss. We'd already talked about salts. Everybody knows that Epsom salts is good for joints and so on, but it's not like got any extra magical thing to it other than, you know, salt powers and healing the joints and so on and so forth. So we are done with my herbal stuff. I am so excited that I got to go through it with you. I'm sorry that I couldn't take more time and maybe do some spells with it all. But at least, you know, I got to explain it to you before I moved and didn't get to dig it out for like 6 or 7 months. So that's exciting that we got to do that. Yes, and actually, for those of you that want to know, Hecate is snake skins are very good on Hecate's altar, for those of you who want to know. So that's another thing. I keep a large snake skin on Hecate's altar as well. And I'm going to put my camera on my desk so we can actually visit and I can be comfy. So I'm going to do that right quick. Oh, I'm so excited. I get to visit a little bit and it's not 10 o'clock at night. Okay, can you guys excuse me for 1 minute? Let me run to the bathroom and grab a cup of coffee, and don't leave because I want to chat with everybody now that I'm able to. Okay? Is that cool? I'm so excited, Liv, and I'm so glad you got to be with me. And yes, I will put that in my book. And it's probably actually on that information sheet that I was telling you I have, but didn't get it in my book yet. Okay, I will be right back. Is that cool with everybody? Don't leave. I want to chat. coffee. Oh, that was a long trip, wasn't it? I'm going to go 6 eyes on you so I can see everything. Oh, you stinker. Let me get this turned off. Now it's staying on, when you know. Wouldn't stay on when we were trying to make it stay on. And now it's staying on. Cockeyed thing. Turn off now. Okay, so I'm glad that was informative. I'm glad you really enjoyed it, Livin, and I'm glad you got some information out of it. It was fun to do. It was fun to go through the book and learn the things that I haven't been using lately and that I need to be incorporating more of, because it's been a while since I've gone. You get used to using certain herbs and you forget that you have this array of herbs to use, so I'm glad I did it. It's hard to talk for that long and not get a tickle in your throat. Murphy's Law. I'm so glad. What do you mean, Murphy's Law? We only went half the time today as far as doing the herbs and stuff, so that was kind of cool. And we got through them all. Oh, and I made a decision last night, or this morning actually, after going through all the... I wasn't picking my nose, I was fixing my nose ring. See? I have a nose ring. I made the decision that I'm going to take the bags out of the glass. Yesterday was 6.5 hours. It was a long time. Oh yeah, Murphy's Law. Stupid phone. So I'm decided I'm going to take the bags out of the jars, label them with my Sharpie, and pack them separately, because that way I can put paper in the jars and put the lids back on, and I think it'll be a little more cushion than the bags. Because I got a lot of money invested in the jars and I just don't want to lose them, first of all. And second of all, because I was just thinking about it today and I'm still worried. Well, I'm still worried that the glass, if it breaks, will poke through the plastic and still mess up the herbs. What do you think? You don't think it'll do that? I don't know. I'm still worried about that. I'm worried about it poking through the plastic if it breaks, and then the herbs pouring out and me losing them. I'm just really worried about that because I have so much money invested in the herbs, and those baggies are so thin. I don't know. I might could double bag them. I don't know. I'm a worrywart. Especially when it comes to my herbs. So I have an idea too that I want to run by you guys. Now that is a good idea. I've thought about that. I have thought about just buying those boxes with the separators in them, just to do an extra cushion for them. But I do have a question, and I'm thinking about doing something. Yeah, that too. Going with my gut. So I'm thinking about, for the 100th subscribing giveaway, doing something different. Not doing just a straight drawing, but doing something different. Doing a video challenge where everybody has to show either a piece of art they've done, a creation, a witchy creation of some sort, or a crafty creation, or an art, or something they've done, and then or something they have that's a piece of art they have, or a creation they have that someone else has done, and then the drawing will come from all those people who've done the video response. What do you think about that? Think that's a good idea? And yes, you're right, Livin, they do. In fact, I get a lot of boxes from liquor stores, so maybe I can ask them to leave those in. But what do you think about that idea, having people do a video response? I am getting close. How close am I? Do you know? Can you see? Because I can't see when I'm live. I think the last I saw was 90. I'm so excited though because I get to give that kit away, and I've added so much to it, and I'm not going to tell anybody the extra things I've added because I want it to be a surprise. I mean, I told them 2 items I added, but I've added other items too, and I don't want to tell. Because I want it to be a surprise. I think it's going to be so fun. So fun. Woo! 92. Oh my gosh, that means there's only 8 more and we get to send something out. Oh, I'm so excited. I want to give it away so bad. I just want to know who's going to get it. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I want people to do something to get it instead of just doing a straight drawing. That's why I was thinking of having everybody do a video response of a piece of something they've crafted, or a piece of art they've done, or something they own that someone else has done, and then do a drawing from whoever does the video response. But at the same time, I thought a lot of people are scared to do video responses, so maybe that's not such a great idea. So I can't decide. It had to have been this morning because I had 90 this morning. That I'm aware of anyway. That I saw last, I had 90. I just can't wait to give it out, honestly. It's not so much the getting the subscriptions as it is giving the gift. I'm so excited about giving it, and I'm praying that whoever gets it, really, I'm praying that either they'll do a video of them unboxing it, or that they'll Skype with me so I can just see the excitement that they have from opening it. And I know they know a lot of the items they're getting, but they don't know all of them. So if they did a Skype with me or a video response or something when they opened it, that would be super cool. Yeah, that's kind of what I think, Livin. I just want people to be involved in it instead of just doing a straight drawing, because I've done 2 drawings and I want to do something different. Exactly, because I'm thinking not everybody will be involved, and that's not really fair. So see, I can't decide. I don't know. Because a lot of people don't do VRs. Cheater, no. But one of you could do a video of that herbal string you made. That would work. I don't know though. I can't decide. I may just end up doing a drawing because I know there are people that just are not comfortable making videos. So I don't know. Like I said, I may just end up doing a drawing. And someone said to do the 100th subscriber, to just give it to them. But then again, I think that's unfair too, because what about the first subscriber? You know, why don't they get it? So it's so hard. It's so confusing. true, you could. But, you know what my biggest worry is I think I'm showing 80 subscribers now. I might be showing 81, somewhere in there. But I'm still not showing all my subscribers. And I hate that because I can't draw all my subscribers if I'm not showing all my subscribers. And I hate that because there are people missing out on the drawing, and I think that stinks. But at the same time, I've done everything I can to get them to show. I mean, I showed it by phone and I showed it by how to do it on the computer. So I can't do any more than that. So it's kind of up to them to show it. But it's kind of cool. I'm very excited to send the package out, and I'm really hoping that I can get them to do a video response with the package or to do a Skype with me, because that would be awesome to do the unboxing so I could see it. I have like 4 items I'm sending that aren't on the video, so that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. So what are you up to tonight, Pat? What is everyone up to? What are you doing, living? Now that we're done with the where you're taking notes, are you getting to relax now? I'm finally getting to relax. Now that you're not having to write like a crazy person. Did I go too fast for you? I know in this video I was going quicker. I think so too. I'm tossing it back and forth. I'm thinking maybe if they want to be involved, they'll do the VR. Hint, hint. Well, I wouldn't be in control of who won, because all the VR people would be entered in a drawing. I know that's loud. I'm so sorry. A flaming doctor. What is that? Oh, cool, Livin. I'm glad to hear that. A flaming doctor. A Dr. Pepper with, let me guess, a Dr. Pepper with that fireball in it? Is that a flaming doctor? I don't want that. Oh my gosh, I got it right! I totally get it, Livin. And I don't know about you, but I love to write. I journal, and that's why my BOS is handmade, and that's why my apothecary book is handmade, because I love writing. I really enjoy it. And not only that, I remember more when I'm writing it than I do if I'm just reading. I have a hard time with memory when I read something. I have a hard time retaining it. So when I write it down, I have a better memory of it. Yep. Exactly. I can't believe I got the fireball and the Dr. Pepper right. That was awesome. I think there's a lag going on, because I'm not getting your guys' answers as soon as I'm saying things. Yeah, okay, there is a lag. At least for Pat. Yeah, if I don't write it down, I'm not going to remember it. And that's just true of everything. But I am going to try to do a video tonight on my healing techniques if I can get my daughter involved. And if I can't get my daughter involved, I'm going to use my chair as a person, and just show you that way if she's not willing. But it's going to be later on because I'm going to have to do dinner pretty quick and get everybody fed, because last night everybody was just like, are you shitting me? It's so late. We didn't eat until like literally like 10:30, because I went so late. But they weren't mad. They were just like, come on. And they could have made dinner, but they didn't. So oh, I see. Okay, that works. I see. I don't even know. I think we're going to have, what are you having for dinner, Pat? Yeah, I want to show him because I don't use techniques that, I do use techniques other people use, but I use techniques that other people don't use, that I have learned over the years that work just by trial and error, and just by intuition, just healing by intuition. And on some people they work on and some people they don't, and I can feel who they might work on, and I can feel who they won't work on, and it's just trial and error. So I'll show you, like I said, I have a large wand that I do a scan on the body. I'm sorry, I'm all moving around. I have a large wand I do a scan of the body with, and that works on everybody. And I have a drum I do a drumming on that does an instant type of heal. Oh, cool. My husband loves that. To just kind of calm the pain or the issue right away, and then it gives me time to get in and do the actual, either the crystal healing or the Reiki or whatever it is I'm going to do. And I usually combine my Reiki with crystal healing. I usually combine the two. And then I have a feather that I use for aura cleansing that I find works better than my pull. It doesn't work better. I do the pull and then I use it to do the fluff. So I have a lot of techniques I use. I also use tuning forks, which I don't have unpacked right now. Those are already packed. But so I do a lot of different techniques. I have a few, but I don't have my big box. So yeah, I just wanted to show a few of those techniques that I use. They're cool. What did you have for dinner, Livin? We're having chicken, shredded chicken with gravy, and mashed potatoes and corn. That's what we're having for dinner. For dinner, last night we had nachos. We were going to have the chicken and gravy last night, but it was so late we just had nachos. I would make them have nachos again tonight if we had enough chips. Trust me. I would. Ooh, chicken nachos. That sounds good. My son-in-law said that last night, but we don't have enough chicken for that. Chicken and gravy is easy because you don't need a ton of chicken to do that. I was just thinking about a recipe channel, but I wouldn't want to do a cooking channel. And why would anybody want to hear a recipe channel if they could hear a cooking channel? Oh, I love to make chicken tacos. I can make some mean chicken tacos. I wish we were in the same time zone either, because then you wouldn't get tired as early. You could hang out longer. It doesn't matter. I probably shouldn't be on here much longer anyway. Honestly. I honestly shouldn't. I should make dinner for my... Oh. Okay, that's another one I make. I make a lot of chicken Alfredo. My family loves chicken Alfredo, and I've learned how to make it fairly quickly. Ow. I just stubbed my toe on my desk. I've learned how to make it fairly quickly, so, and still have it taste pretty good, so I make a lot of chicken Alfredo. But I should get going, guys. I really appreciate you joining me tonight, and I really appreciate you hanging with me while I went through the herb cupboard and enjoying it so much, because I wasn't too sure. Oh, really? You know, I know a lot of people who are just leaving because it's so expensive to live here. It's so expensive to live here. Oh, really? Chicken Alfredo is your family's favorite? You know, my husband is the only one who's not a big fan of chicken Alfredo. He thinks it should be a side dish, but it shouldn't be a main dish. Like, he likes it with, you make a steak and have chicken Alfredo on the side, and to me that doesn't make sense because it's chicken. So why would you have a steak with chicken? Or he wants like lemon chicken with chicken Alfredo on the side. You must make it good. I would love to try yours. Oh my gosh. 9 people? Yeah, that's because it's California. I'm telling you, it's bad. There's 4 of us, and we are still struggling, which is half the reason we're willing to go to Texas. When my son said, come to Texas, we were just like, yeah, we're going, because the cost of living is so much less, and really the pay is not that much lower. You know, my daughter's only going to take like a couple dollars cut in pay, and the cost of living is like way lower. So it's so worth it. No, he's not. He's not Italian. It's a friggin' mansion. Our house is pretty big. Our house is a 4-bedroom. And it's a 2-bath. I mean, it's a nice size house, and it has a garage, but we're paying out the rumpus, and we live in a place that's not super expensive to live, so, and we're still paying an arm and a leg. But in Sacramento, you're looking at $3,000 a month for a decent place to live. It's just insane. Yeah, exactly. And I've lived in Northern California, like the majority of my life I lived in Northern California, and it's just skyrocketed since we were here last, which was in 2000, no. Last in Northern California was probably 1990. 2001. It was 2001 when we left California. I mean, Northern California. And I can't believe just in that, well, I guess it's been a long time. I guess it really has been a long time. But holy hell, it's just skyrocketed. Well, and that's true too. See, Northern California used to all be pretty small towns, and then we come back and it's all grown so much. You know, the place we live was a really small town compared to what it is now. I mean, a small town compared to what it is now, and now it's kind of all sprawled out and really big and housing everywhere, and it's just nothing like it was when we were here before. It was much smaller, and so of course it's come up in price, but unbelievably so. I mean, when we were here before, we were up in a little smaller town, and granted it was up in the mountains, but we were paying $500 a month rent for a 2-story 4-bedroom home. And now we are in town, which comparatively we would have probably paid $650 for that home if we'd been in town. But now we're in town, we're paying $1,400. So it's insane, and we're paying cheap. We really are. We have very inexpensive rent compared to everywhere else. We have really inexpensive rent. But our light bill is insane, and that's California. The light bill is insane. That's PG&E for you. It's crazy. I won't even talk about how high that gets in the summer when it's hot. Yeah, me too. I really must. I really, really must. You're so welcome. I'm so glad you joined me, and I'm so glad you enjoyed it and had such fun and got so much information out of it. Wow. Well, see, that's honestly not far off from here. I'm being honest. You're looking at 700. I hope you have a good sleep, Livin. Thank you for joining me again. I had a really good night. It was fun to go through everything and get it all ready and know what I have to do. Well, I better say goodnight. I gotta get dinner done and all that good stuff, but it was fun, and I loved going through my herbs again. It's been a while since I've been through the entire cabinet and all of my goodies, and I mean, like I said, I only passed up like baking soda, vinegar, salt. I didn't go through the top, but it's really mainly tinctures and like wines and vinegar and that type of stuff, and not really herbs or anything like that. Just more stuff I've made than herbs or anything useful. So nothing I could give you properties really on for your what you could just go get. It's nothing like that. So all right, well, have a good night all, and thank you so much for joining me. And remember, you are divine sacred beings of light and love, and I love every single one of you, and I can't wait till next time. I am going to do a video tonight on healing techniques, and maybe something else if I have the energy, but at least on that. And I love you all. Good night.